without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
City of Milwaukee is filing public nuisance lawsuits against an out-of-state landlord.
Eric Billstad.
About 200 employees will not have their current job in Milwaukee Public Schools at the end of the school year.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
You have a crash on the ramp from northbound 94 to 894. Yeah, so just be extra careful with that.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
Fabulous Farm Babe Pam Yankee here, reminding you to listen to the Midwest Farm Report on WTMJ.com or anywhere you download your podcast. Brought to you by Tyson's Home Farm Auto. Visit THEISENS.com for more information and to find a location near you.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Trusted. Relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
6 o'clock, I'm Vince Vetrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. It's Monday, March 30th, our top story. A teen takeover at Bayshore.
I'm Michelle Richards, in for Eric Billstad. TSA workers could soon get paid.
I'm Debbie Lozica, looking pretty good out on the roads right now. We do have a broken down vehicle on the off-ramp to North Avenue from northbound 41. A little bit more of a backup just past that with the construction going on there. But other than that, we're looking pretty good across the rest of the area. I'm Debbie Lozica with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast, cooler by the lake day. High of 65 today, lakeside 75 inland. Tonight, a chance of rain and storms and a low of 44. Right now at 52. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a teen takeover in Glendale. A dozen people arrested Sunday afternoon. Hundreds of teenagers gathered at Bayshore.
Near Qdoba 510 West Silver Spring, there is a group of juveniles, unknown amounts, that are causing a disturbance. They've been asked to leave.
Several fights broke out at the mall.
Two girls arguing. Their groups were getting involved. They've been separated.
Police radio reports obtained by Broadcastify. Glendale police posted a reminder from Bayshore just days ago that anyone under 17 must be accompanied by an adult Fridays through Sundays after 3 p.m.
The trial for the man accused of killing Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corder is set to begin today.
Prosecutors say 23-year-old Tremaine Jones faces charges including first-degree intentional homicide and attempted homicide in connection to a June 2025 shooting near 24th and Garfield. Investigators say Jones was firing a gun before officers arrived, and Officer Corder was shot while responding to the scene. He died days later at the hospital. Jones has pleaded not guilty and could face life in prison if convicted. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
President Trump sounding hopeful as it comes to negotiations with Iran starting this morning. The president says Iran will allow more oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz.
They gave us, I think out of a sign of respect, 20 boats of oil, big boats of oil, going through the Hormuz Strait.
The war in Iran passing the 1-month mark now as more U.S. troops arrived in the Middle East over the weekend.
The nation's airport security officers may start to see money in their bank accounts for the first time in weeks later today after President Trump ordered the Department of Homeland Security to start cutting checks.
On what is normally its busiest day of the week, Sunday, TSA lines at the world's busiest airport, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International, were virtually non-existent yesterday, as traveler Marianne Ferraro learned.
And I come up here and it's like a ghost town. I'm thrilled.
It might only have been a fluke, as the My TSA app shows security lines at Atlanta stretching to about an hour this morning. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
A Madison teacher in custody now, accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student.
Police arrested 29-year-old Ellie of Goldman on several charges, including child grooming and sexual misconduct. He was working as a music teacher at Vel Phillips Memorial High School and Toki Middle School. The Madison Metropolitan School District says it learned of the inappropriate relationship with a student and placed Goldman on leave on March 20th. Madison police have assigned the case to the Special Victims Unit. Although Goldman is in custody, formal charges have not been filed. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Governor Tony Evers vetoed several bills last week. One would have required the WIAA to follow open record laws, and another would have let employers consider non-criminal charges when hiring or firing. Evers says the measures could undermine the presumption of innocence. He also blocked bills that would have required new school referendum approvals and imposed harsher drug sentences near homeless shelters. He signed bills expanding mental health evaluations and defining anti-Semitism for discrimination claims.
Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson spotlighting housing as a top priority in his upcoming State of the City address during a Sunday read-through. Mayor Johnson emphasized support for down payment assistance, workforce housing, and partnerships across the city.
It doesn't matter what type of housing you're looking for, whether it's rental, whether it's homeownership, whether it's single family, whether it's apartment. We're there in all the spaces, and our partners are too. So Milwaukee's a place, that anybody and everybody can call home regardless of what they're looking for.
Mayor Johnson says full details will be unveiled during today's speech. It's at Dr. Howard Fuller Collegiate Academy in Milwaukee at 5:30 tonight. Coming up, a countdown to send astronauts around the moon. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 6:05.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Hey fans, John Kuhn here, team captain of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and there's a reason it's considered the Midwest premier place to bet on all your favorite sports. The full bar, awesome dining, 2,000 square foot screen, and nearly 100 betting kiosks makes for an unbeatable playbook. Bet above the rest, only at Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vetrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Keep the comfort in and the weather out with beautiful new windows and doors from Siding Unlimited. For ideas, go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 6:07.
Brewers try to stay undefeated tonight. Sports at 6:15.
NASA says it's ready to send 4 astronauts on a journey around the moon, marking a major step in a new era of space exploration. CBS's Mark Strassman reports from the Kennedy Space Center.
NASA's hoping to lift off on Wednesday, the start of a 6-day launch window. Artemis 2's crew will orbit the Earth twice on their first day, then head off for the moon. They won't land on it. They'll fly around its far side, pushing farther from Earth than humans ever have, about 253,000 miles, before looping back to Earth.
The mission will launch from the same pad used during the historic Apollo program.
Fallout for Tiger Woods following his DUI arrest, which came just as he was staging a comeback.
Questions about Tiger Woods' future after the golf legend was arrested and charged with DUI. Authorities say Woods was speeding when he crashed and flipped his SUV near his home on Jupiter Island, Florida. He was not injured and passed a breathalyzer, but police say Woods refused to let officers take a blood or urine sample. Refusing such a test is a crime in Florida, and legal experts say it could hurt his case.
It's ABC's Hannah Battah reporting. It eludes any sense of reason why Tiger Woods is ever driving his own car. Ever again.
Well, the first reaction that my husband had when I told him the headline that I saw, he's like, didn't he you mean before when he rolled his car?
That was a long time ago. No, this would be again. 6:08 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
Time saver traffic at 6:09. Debbie.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good out on the roads right now. Not seeing really any delays or any incidents to slow you down just yet. We're looking at light volume and standard speeds. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
From TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson with your Storm Team forecast. It's the pick day of the week, mostly sunny with temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s at the lakefront. Certainly could make a run into the mid 70s farther inland. Lake breeze kicks in late this afternoon. Falling temperatures into the overnight. Lows dip back into the mid 40s. We are on the lookout for the chance of some showers and even a few thunderstorms tonight. A couple of those storms could be on the stronger side if they are able to develop. We'll hold on to warm conditions into Tuesday. Highs in the mid 60s with more chances of rain and thunderstorms.
Milwaukee's at 52.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Now, here are your hosts, Vince Petrano and Michelle Richards.
6:10 on Wisconsin's Morning News. So glad to have you with us on this Monday morning. Yes, Michelle in for Eric for a couple of days. We have Neil in here as well. Still waiting for an update from Eric as to whether he stopped at the Buc-ee's. They were driving on their trip. Disappointed me, Michelle, to no end a year ago.
I've never been to one.
Well, neither had Eric and neither had I heretofore when he traveled and drove right by a Buc-ee's and didn't stop. So he's assured me that it's in the plan this time.
Okay.
Weekend chaos at the mall.
A normal day at Bayshore Mall turned into madness as hundreds of teens showed up and several fights broke out.
It's TMJ4's Kaylee Starl reporting more than a dozen arrests at Bayshore Sunday. Large crowds appear to be mostly teens pounding on windows, getting in fights. It sounds like that was the plan.
Some concerned parents I spoke to off camera tell me this was part of a mall takeover. You can see the post that went viral on Instagram. Well, Glendale police tell me they were aware of that post and had increased security and patrols ahead of Sunday.
Even with that increased presence, TMJ4 cameras captured fights like this one that spilled out onto a busy Port Washington road. For several hours Sunday afternoon, Glendale police, the Milwaukee County Sheriff, and mall security worked to clear hundreds of young people from the area.
A little action here and there, a lot of young people.
Community leader Vaughn Mays and several violence prevention groups also showed up, hoping to prevent the situation from getting worse.
Now, that back end part of Kaylee Starl's report at TMJ4 seemed to be a positive. There was a social media post. You asked when we were talking about it this morning.
This was the plan, right?
You go, yes, this was planned, right? Yes, this was planned. And Kaylee had a graphic up on her story showing, I don't know, I think she said it went out on Instagram, but out on social media. Mm-hmm. Hey, it literally said mall takeover.
Really?
So people were invited to come and create chaos.
Just trying to assist in some prevention. There's been talk online of a takeover here and also at Mayfair. And so we just wanted to come out and assist the security and the department and the businesses with helping alleviate that as best we can.
So you heard him mention Mayfair. Not sure if anything escalated there. Again, TMJ4 reporting from Bayshore in Glendale. WTMJ's Sandy Max was out and about on Saturday. She said she was at Mayfair and noted, well, I'll read to you what she wrote. I observed security professionally actively wristbanding youth at Mayfair. They seem to be making prevention efforts. So the word was out. And folks were ready for it. But same thing we were talking about last week as we've seen in the entertainment districts downtown. People there deliberately to cause trouble, and the crackdowns are uncomfortable. The video of forceful arrests never looks good. Nobody wants to see that, but we know what works, and it's making it uncomfortable for people who aren't there to shop or patronize businesses, who are there to just cause problems and get in fights. You got to make it uncomfortable for them to do that. It looks like they were ready to do that.
Do we know how old these kids were? Like, are they younger, on the younger side, the older side? Are they all jumping on the bus to get down?
So, got to find out for the arrest reports and whether or not any charges are actually filed. I would expect those details to become clearer, but just the sort of, and that's too bad too, because we say young people. That looks terrible for everybody. Not all young people are out doing that. In fact, most are not. So important details still to come. 6:14 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Tax season is here, and smart planning starts now. Let's set you up for success with today's tax tip from our trusted friends at the Neal Group.
Hi, this is Brittany from the Neal Group with today's tax tip. Remember to keep receipts and documents to support the numbers on your tax return. Also, keep a copy of the return you filed. The IRS has 3 years to audit your tax return and ask you for proof of a deduction or income claimed. The state of Wisconsin has 4 years. Lack of substantiation could result in not only additional tax due, but also interest and penalties imposed on the additional tax due. Imagine having to pay an additional 20% or more in penalties plus interest for 2 or 3 years. For more tips, or if you have questions, visit nealgroup.net or call 414-325-2040. That's nealgroup.net.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Now, something that's important at Sportscats, right, is that we present facts. As much as we are fans, we have to keep the numbers straight. Well, this stat is true. Your Milwaukee Brewers are on pace to go 162-0 this season.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair and gone!
Man, Lane Grindle on the call. We're so spoiled so early in the season to get a pinch hit home run. By the way, from Christian Yelich's first career pinch hit home run, if you can believe it. Came in a good time, too. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Bottom of the eighth. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Manager Pat Murphy postgame.
This is kind of what we want to create here, is that we're never out of a game. We're not giving up. We're going to continue to play. And we know we're only a couple pitches away, no matter what the score is.
Indeed, the Brewers open up the season with a series sweep against the White Sox. Next up, the Tampa Bay Rays come to town. Kyle Harrison, the new gun, on the mound for the Crew. 6:40 first pitch, which you can catch right here on WTMJ. From the diamond to the ice rink, Badgers men's hockey team taking on Michigan State. 24 seconds into overtime.
Can't get to the puck. Caught! No! Viva Las Vegas on Wisconsin to the Frozen Four!
Fantastic call on ESPN2. That was the game-winning goal, not to mention the Badgers scored 2 goals in under 5 minutes left in the third period, and the Badgers are heading to the Frozen Four, and they now know their opponent. It will be North Dakota in Las Vegas, April 9th, 4 p.m. Local puck drop on ESPN2 if you'd like to catch that one. Badger Sports Updates are brought to you by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more. The Bucks, meanwhile, dropped their game to the Clippers yesterday afternoon. They have been officially eliminated from playoff contention. We can probably start talking tanking now, but obviously there's the elephant in the room. What's Giannis going to do? It's not great, but the season isn't over. The Bucks take on the Mavericks tomorrow at home at Pfizer Forum. And in the college basketball tournament, the last remaining 4, saying it to avoid any legal issues. UConn stuns Duke in the final seconds of their game yesterday. Meanwhile, Tennessee got rolled by Michigan. The tournament resumes Saturday. UConn takes on Illinois. Michigan squaring off against Arizona.
I'm fairly certain you can say it. In a legit sports
I know,
report,
but
you
God,
just can't
it's such
say
a thing every year. Well, I don't know. It's the tournament that happens in March, and sometimes it gets a little mad. I don't know. Right. That's
Greg
the
Pancake
dance
Hill
we
is
dance.
producer of the program and taking care of sports in Eric's absence today. Yes, there are many legalese and such that you can say this, but you can't say that because the sponsorship rights for the basketball tournament. All right, I'll let
See
you
what I
tell
mean?
it. Good. 6:18 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. I mean, there's just such beauty in it, you know? If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
Or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
Let's talk about your shoes for a moment. Vince Vetrano here for my friends Katie and Dan at Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Got a fascinating update from Inspired Closets on all the things they can do just with your shoes. So if you're the type that shoes bring you joy, just looking at them, you got a lot of them, you collect them, you don't want to hide them, sounds like you're a good candidate for the Shoe Shrine or a boutique display with integrated lighting. Or if you just want your shoes or your kids' shoes out of the front hall and better organized, maybe you're looking at something like slanted shelving or vertical storage options. You don't go wrong either way. And the experts at Inspired Closets will know what's going to work best in your home because they start by listening to you. This is a custom job. You book a no obligation appointment. You can do that right now or stop out of the showroom anytime. Your Gerke's Corners in Waukesha. Make sure to tell Katie and Dan Vinny sent you. Inspired days start in Inspired Closets. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your car can't express its gratitude when you get an oil change, but the people you're helping will sure appreciate it because when you visit an Adam member new car dealer through May 16th, they'll donate $1 from every oil change to Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin. To date, Adam has donated more than $960,000, providing 2.8 million meals. To find a participating Adam dealer near you, visit adamm.com. And thank you.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on March 31st.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Tampa Bay Rays.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in March 31st at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
Times of traffic at 6:20. Debbie, what do you see?
Not much. We do have a disabled vehicle reported on the off-ramp to Beecher from 4394 southbound, but no delays involved with that, so we're looking pretty good. As a matter of fact, we're looking good across the rest of the system, too. Light volume, standard speeds. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast is sponsored by Big Fish Contracting. Visit bigfishcontracting.com to see how they're renovating homes and redeeming an industry. Tune in to today's Brewers pregame show for the Big Fish roof update. Mostly sunny today, cooler by the lakefront with a high of just 65, 75 inland. Tonight, a chance of rain and storms, mostly cloudy, a low of 44. Tuesday, warm, a chance of storms, a high of 65. Wednesday, mostly cloudy and cool, a chance of a rain-snow mix in the afternoon, a high of 40.
Fantastic.
Everything. We have everything in this forecast
Right?
this
I'm
week,
sorry
by the
you
way.
said what?
Thursday, more rain likely, windy, a high of 50. And Friday, just a slight chance of rain, mostly cloudy and 47.
52 degrees right now in Milwaukee as spring break travel at Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport expected to peak this coming weekend. So that'll be a confluence of people returning from this week's travel and then others flying out for their week off, depending on how that breaks for spring break schedules with students. I think a lot of schools are off this week, yeah?
We're off this week,
Okay.
yes.
So that's how that breaks out here in Milwaukee. This morning, signs of easing TSA security wait times as officers are expecting to see their pay restored, perhaps as early as today. Now, I did not travel personally this weekend, but was deeply invested in the situation.
Hello, this is Ella Vetrano and Caitlin Majeski reporting live for Vincent Vetrano and his social media and his radio show. It is currently, what time is it? It is 1:53 a.m. 1:53 a.m. Our flight out of LaGuardia Airport is at 7 a.m. We board at 6:35.
Okay, so that is, if you didn't put it together there, New York daughter Ella traveling with another one of her friends from school in New York Saturday.
Reporting for Vincent.
For Vince, I don't know why that has to be. Literally no one calls me that. Maybe my mom sometimes. So I mentioned earlier in the week that she was texting me. She obviously was concerned about when do we get to the airport. I told her to take the train.
It is 2:30. We made it to the airport. We are by the conference center. the line wrapped around so far that there are like hundreds of people in front of us.
So, as you heard, she got to LGA in the middle of the night to get into that line, to form the line. And TSA shuts down overnight, so they figure their best bet was just get in the queue.
All right, it's 3 a.m. The TSA is open, so we're moving.
We're supposed to be through, according to one of the officer guys, we're supposed to be through by 4:45.
Okay, so I mentioned light at the end of the tunnel with this whole travel situation. President Trump late Friday, after Congress failed to reach an agreement on funding the Department of Homeland Security and then skipped town for their own spring break, President signed an executive order or an executive action to pay TSA officers. ABC's Olivia Rubin.
President Trump is promising TSA workers will get paid indefinitely, even as the Homeland Security Department remains shut down.
We're going to pay them for as long as we have to.
They've gone more than a month without pay, prompting a record number to call out or quit, leading to those long airport security lines. Lines so long, some travelers hired people to take their place and wait for them.
Wow.
It's a good gig, though, right?
What's your job? I wait.
Yeah, I wait. So I've not seen an indication confirming that officers have yet been paid, though it appears the expectation that their month plus of back pay will be showing up soon, maybe helping loosen things up at some of the nation's biggest travel bottlenecks. ABC's Jim Ryan.
On what is normally its busiest day of the week, Sunday, TSA lines at the world's busiest airport, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International, were virtually non-existent yesterday, as traveler Marianne Ferraro learned.
And I come up here and it's like a ghost town. I'm thrilled.
It might only have been a fluke, as the My TSA app shows security lines at Atlanta stretching to about an hour this morning. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Good problem to have that you're there in too much time.
Right. And last week, we were talking about wait times in Houston of like 4+ hours.
Houston, Atlanta, among those where they were, right around the 4-hour mark. So many people of both political parties expressing frustration with this self-inflicted wound on American travelers and these workers. And never mind, they will ultimately get back pay. But the union president is suggesting there ought to be something extra, given many of those workers were living off credit cards while giving the government an interest-free loan for more than a month.
Not only do they need to get back paid, but everybody needs like a $10,000 bonus, because they have to put their lives back together. The mental strain of going to work and not getting paid for 3 out of the last 5 months is just unbelievable.
And there was the prior government shutdown in the fall of 2025. So that's Johnny Jones from the American Federation of Government Employees speaking with ABC News. Wait times at Milwaukee Mitchell have been good. No reports of prohibitively long lines. And we flew out a couple of times in the last several weeks. That was before this thing really ramped up. But still, airport director for Mitchell told us here on Wisconsin's Morning News, if a situation like we saw in Houston or Atlanta were to develop, they would communicate that out. But he suggested 2 to 2.5 hours would get you comfortably through TSA right now in Milwaukee.
I've never had a problem at Mitchell.
No.
Never.
I love our airport. So are you noticing I didn't finish the story? Ella Vetrano reporting from New York's LaGuardia on Saturday.
Hello, final TSA update. We ended up getting through security all the way at 4:35 a.m. So from the time we got in line at the airport to the time we were through, it was about 2 hours.
Okay, so they got on the airplane and all this well.
And they got no sleep.
Yeah, which is fine. That's probably pretty standard anyway for college kids. So I would like to personally thank those officers who did go to work and are going to work. Thanks for taking care of us, and hopefully the end to this latest episode is in sight. Coming up on 6:30, we'll do news about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average on Friday fell nearly 800 points to 45,167. The NASDAQ was down more than 450 to 20,948. S&P 500 at 6369 was off a little over 100 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. No more shots, no more pain. Vince Vetrano here talking with Kimberly Wolverton. She is one of my fellow patients at Connect Chiropractic. Great to see you, Kimberly. I love your story. It resonates with me in part because I had a cheerleader daughter. You were a cheerleader and actually got seriously hurt.
Yes.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, quite a few years ago, yes.
So what had happened to you?
Well, I was a cheerleader that I climbed on people, and when you climb on other people, it moves your knees around, and I started seeing a knee specialist, and they put me in a full leg cast, and then I started getting cortisone shots for almost 20 plus years.
And so that was something regularly that you had to address, and the pain with that. So you sought out care at Connect Chiropractic, and no more shots?
No more shots. I haven't had a cortisone shot in probably 5-6 years.
On top of that, you had some back issues as well, yeah?
I did. I had terrible sciatic pain, which is really why I came here 4 years ago. I was crawling on the ground. I was changing my shoes 3 times a day. Nothing worked. And I was told that I was just getting old and to take an ibuprofen. So I decided to look into something else. And I had always been afraid of a manual adjustment getting cracked. So I found that there was a different office in Tosa that did something different, and I gave it a shot. And after a month into care, I haven't had any of those issues again.
That's Connect Chiropractic, and we say it all the time. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. The docs use one of these special tools to get your spine properly aligned, but they don't twist the neck around. And this I also have found, Kimberly, is not unique to you. A number of people who've gone and sought care at Connect Chiropractic were so inspired by the results that they had personally, but also what they saw in their fellow patients. You work there now.
I work there, absolutely. I'm going into my 5th year working there.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for sharing your story. If you want your story rewritten, no more pain, no more medications, get started now at goconnectchiro.com. Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Hopes today that TSA lines could start easing after an order from the president to start paying TSA workers despite the Homeland Security shutdown. ABC's Mola Langi has more.
TSA officers who have gone weeks without paychecks have been calling out in record numbers. On Saturday, over 30% of TSA workers called out in Houston, Baltimore, New York's JFK, and Atlanta.
They just need to pay the guys, get them their salary on time and do what they need to do.
The president signing an executive order on Friday to redirect funds to pay TSA personnel their back pay.
This only affects TSA, not the rest of the Homeland Security workers. President Trump said he's considering taking Iran's main oil export terminal on Karg Island in a Financial Times interview where he also said a peace deal could come quickly. The Supreme Court hears argument today in his challenge to birthright citizenship. This is ABC News.
We're moving along pretty well so far this morning, starting to tighten up just a little bit. Westbound 94 right through the stadium interchange. Northbound on 41 backing up from just past Mayfair Road all the way up to Burleigh. The rest of the system is moving along quite well. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Nice one today. 75 degrees, your high temperature inland. Be about 10 degrees cooler lakeside under mostly sunny skies. Tonight, though, a chance of rain and storms and a low of 44. Milwaukee right now at 48. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the trial for the man accused of killing Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corder set to begin today. 23-year-old Tremaine Jones facing charges including first-degree intentional homicide and attempted homicide in connection with the shooting last summer. Prosecutors say Jones ambushed Officer Corder and his partner, Officer Christopher McCrae, who was injured. They were responding to a call. Corder died days later at the hospital. McCrae still recovering from his injuries. Jones has pleaded not guilty, could face life in prison if convicted.
A Madison teacher has been arrested in connection with an alleged inappropriate relationship with a student. Madison police say 28-year-old Ellie Goldman, a music teacher at Vel Phillips Memorial High School and Toki Middle School, is accused of grooming. The Madison Metropolitan School District says Goldman was previously placed on leave and is now cooperating with law enforcement. Superintendent Dr. Joe Gothard says the district has a zero-tolerance policy for misconduct and is offering support to those impacted. No formal charges have been filed yet. The investigation is ongoing.
Preview for Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson's State of the City speech, which is tonight.
Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson is turning the spotlight on housing. In a preview of his State of the City speech,
every person who lives in Milwaukee
And those who want to, they should have access to an affordable, safe home that meets their needs. That's what we're striving for here in the Year House.
Mayor Johnson tells WTMJ,
I've never seen the amount of RSVPs to a State of the City address like we've seen for this, because folks are interested in this topic. And I think they're interested, because, housing is such a big and important issue for people, not just here in Milwaukee, but all over the state, all across the country.
The full State of the City address is Monday evening at 5:30. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Harley-Davidson is spending nearly $7 million on its Milwaukee headquarters to welcome employees back. The investment comes as the company announces cuts to its white-collar workforce, part of a strategy to reshape operations under its new CEO. Tim Gibbons, editor-in-chief with the Milwaukee Business Journal, tells WTMJ.
The new CEO, Artie Starrs, he's come in, he's here in Milwaukee, he's bringing workers back to the office, and it's somewhat trying to be a cultural shift sort of thing as they look at what their workforce needs are and what their strategy should be going forward.
Gibbons says workers are coming back, but there will be fewer of those workers overall.
So Wisconsin's out of the basketball tournament, but a strong contender in another competition. West Allis, Sheboygan, and Madison all in the Final Four of the Strongest Town contest. Contest is called Strong Towns. It's a nonprofit that advocates for local financial resiliency through urban planning. Chief of Staff Carly Aim Labar telling WTMJ's What's on Tap.
We do a trophy. We also send 3 or 4 folks from the winning community to our national gathering that we're having this year in Fayetteville, Arkansas in May. And then we also do a short form documentary about your community that is about how much you love your place and why you love your place.
The 3 Wisconsin cities going up against Chicago. Finalists will be announced today at 3 p.m. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:35.
Sponsored by Redo Cabinets. Don't replace, reface.
At Redo Cabinets, we know the kitchen is the heart of the home. It's the place that design and function matter most. Mark Olson here. Redo Cabinets wants to transform your kitchen into your vision without the mess, the stress, or the cost of a full kitchen remodel with cabinet refacing. During our spring sales event, learn all about refacing. Premium cabinet products and plenty of options for color, hardware, style, and accessories. And now get a free premium countertop with every refacing project, or payments that start as low as $195 a month. Call today and book a free, no-obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us at redocabinets.com. That's redocabinets.com. Serving homeowners for over 70 years in Illinois and Wisconsin. Don't replace, reface with Redo Cabinets.
At Blaine's, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the trusted farm essentials you need for spring at unbeatable farm and fleet prices? Like $30 off KT Auto Darkening Welding Helmets, now $69.99. Save $150 on the Hobart Multi-Process Welder. Plus, new at Blaine's, shop Purina Livestock Feed. Science-backed nutrition to help animals stay healthy and productive. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:36.
Brewers undefeated of the Badgers, chasing another championship. Sports at 6:45.
Vince, Easter is this Sunday. I'm sure you're well aware. Prepping, shopping, all the things.
Yeah, sure. Got to get the whipped cream eggs.
Not the
candy,
Peeps.
Whipped cream eggs. I'm not a marshmallow egg guy.
Okay.
And not the Peeps.
Well, despite inflation and tight budgets, Americans are planning to spend big for the holiday. CBS News correspondent Heather Bosch says analysts are expecting a 255% increase.
Adobe forecasts that U.S. consumers will spend more than what they typically spend at Easter, particularly on plastic eggs, baskets, egg-dyed decorations, and stuffed bunnies. Analyst Vivek Pandya says since the winter holidays, shoppers have been focused on buying essentials, but they seem willing to splurge a little for the holiday.
We definitely do see a conscientious consumer that is really focused around spending around events in order to maximize the value that they can get.
Heather Bosch, CBS News.
And that's a grand total expected of like $24.9 billion.
We always chuckle at these holiday spending stories. I know a lot of folks are struggling to make ends meet. We're talking about affordability, and then the holidays come around. It's like, well, maybe we'll cut back a little bit. $24 billion.
Yep.
you got to be largely okay. 6:38 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
And now about your house. It's where you live, but do you also live in your yard? My friends at Outdoor Living Unlimited help people extend their home, living beyond the wall. Your imagination may be somewhat limited, so let's call on Eric Brown, president of Outdoor Living Unlimited, to expand upon it.
I'm confident that 90% of the listeners can look outside their home and dream of a better, nicer, way more outstanding backyard. If you're one of the many, you'll need to call Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited's expert team can design a beautiful, functional, usable backyard space. Then our team can build it. You dream it, we build it. New deck, outdoor kitchen, pavers, retaining walls, screen room. How about a must-see automated pergola that doubles as a screen room? Picture this, a pergola that allows the sunlight through the slats, but with the press of a button, those slats close and now you have protection. Another press of the button and the screens roll down. There's your screen room. The ideas are endless. We recently built a brand new deck with a screen room pergola on top and stairs that lead to a paver oasis complete with a fire pit and seat walls. Amazing. New deck, outdoor kitchen, screen room, automated pergola. Let Outdoor Living Unlimited design and build the amazing backyard. Find us at OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
See all the cool things that Outdoor Living Unlimited can do for your yard on their Instagram page, or visit their unique outside-in showroom in Waukesha. And if you're looking outside of your home, dreaming of a more beautiful and functional, usable backyard, well, Outdoor Living Unlimited can design and build you an amazing showstopper of a deck, patio, complete with pergola and fire pit, just like they did for us. With expert care, Outdoor Living Unlimited installed a beautiful paver patio, complete with land and stone retaining wall, all sorts of space, room for a built-in kitchen, and complete with a gas fire pit. It's where we spend all of our time. Visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Time saver traffic at 20 to 7. Debbie, how are the roads?
A little bit slow through the Stadium interchange on westbound 94, just to Mitchell Boulevard. After that, you're good to go into Waukesha County. Northbound on 41, a little slow from Mayfair Road all the way up to about Burleigh. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
From TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson with your Storm Team forecast. It's the pick day of the week, mostly sunny with temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s at the lakefront. Certainly could make a run into the mid 70s farther inland. Lake breeze kicks in late this afternoon. Falling temperatures into the overnight. Lows dip back into the mid 40s. We are on the lookout for the chance of some showers and even a few thunderstorms tonight. A couple of those storms could be on the stronger side if they are able to develop. We'll hold on to warm conditions into Tuesday. Highs in the mid 60s with more chances of rain and thunderstorms.
Milwaukee right now at 48. Couple of stories to put on your political radar this Monday morning.
Happening today on Wisconsin's Morning News.
As you heard in the bottom of the hour news, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson set to give his State of the City address this evening. More on that in a moment. First, this morning, Republican candidate for governor, Congressman Tom Tiffany, is hosting a business roundtable in my adopted hometown of Greendale. That's the site for that. The more interesting part, though, is he will be joined after by that part of the state's state assemblyman, Bob Donovan. And they're going to be talking about ending Wisconsin's vehicle emissions testing program. That's the thing where drivers in a handful of counties here in Wisconsin, you got to take your car for emissions testing every other year in order to get your registration renewed. For most, it's just a pain.
Because you can't find any place that offers it.
There's, Michelle lives on the south side as well. There's one by us on 27th Street, one of those self-serve kiosks. Okay. I did that. Anybody can do that. I don't know anything about cars.
All right.
Okay,
good to know.
Bing, bing, bing. So that's an option for you. But this would eliminate the need for that and all the other stuff. Now, that's certainly would be popular with drivers, maybe not so much with environmentalists. So we'll have to see how that shakes out and how they plan to eliminate the program that began in the mid-'80s. To the mayor, Mayor Johnson's annual State of the City address is tonight. Major theme will be expanding affordable housing.
I'm excited about talking about and informing the public in a greater sense about how these things will continue to help Milwaukee to change and evolve and lower costs for folks. So those are the things that are really, really exciting to me. We've been doing some really, really great work, myself, in collaboration with the City Council, and I'm looking forward to sharing those things.
And listening to some of the things that the mayor said in his preview, it's not, don't confuse affordable housing with low-income housing. Not that that wouldn't be a component of it also, but he wants to look at it comprehensively for how can we make it more affordable for people to live, particularly to buy a home or a condo in the city. So it won't be the only thing you'll hear about tonight, but a lot on that in the mayor's address. It's going to be at Dr. Howard Fuller Collegiate Academy, 5:30 start time tonight. 6:44, sports up next.
In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus says, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be dispersed. At this point in Lent, how is it going? This is Archbishop Jeffrey Graub. So many of us feel fractured, pulled in different directions by the worries of daily life. As Easter draws nearer, we're invited to pause and ask, have these weeks helped us become more centered? Have we allowed God to lead us and to use us as instruments of his work? Or are we still scattered? Join us at Mass. Come and be gathered.
Vince Vitrano here for Go Trago. Turnover is costly, it is frustrating, and for many organizations, they call it the silent profit killer. Go Trago Assessment Solutions has a solution for you. So at Go Trago, what they do is they help organizations stop the revolving door by hiring the right people the first time. That reduces hiring costs and improves sales. At Go Trago, their TPS identifies top performers before they're on your payroll. That reduces turnover, boosts customer experience, and increases sales. Here's an example. Auto dealers nationwide are using this. They are operating now at turnover rates more than 200% below the industry average using predictive assessments from Go Trago. It's spelled Trego. Go Trago. Better hires, better teams, better results. Visit GoTrago.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Here is what Christian Yelich said post-game to our very own Josh Mauer.
Hey, I was just trying to put a good swing on something. In that situation, we had the tying run on third base, so I was just trying to hit something hard, have a good at-bat. Homer was the farthest thing from my mind.
Here is what happened minutes before.
Here's the 2-2 pitch.
Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone! You know what's different about baseball players is like, a lot of sports, you go up like, I'm going to make that basket. I'm going to make that shot, right? And it's like baseball players, you kind of can't approach it. I'm going to homer every time. Like, unless your name was Barry Bonds, like, you can't really think that way. So I think that's super cool that he was like, I was just trying to get the ball in play, and he hit it out of the park. Nice job. Christian Yelich, by the way, this should shock you, stat of the day. First career pinch hit home run. Put the Brewers up 9-7 in the 8th inning. That pitch, a 2-out, 2-strike pitch, by the way. That would cap a 6-run, count 'em 6, in the 8th inning for the Brewers, which would lead them to a season-opening series sweep against the White Sox. Up next for the Brewers, they take on the Tampa Bay Rays here at home. Tonight, a 6:40 first pitch. Our coverage right here on WTMJ begins at 6. Kyle Harrison will toe the rubber for the Crew. The Bucks, meanwhile, well...
Been a tough stretch, and today the cards were stacked against the Bucks.
Yeah, once again, tough stretch. Indeed, they fall to the Clippers again. 127-113. This would be a losing record at home. They are now finally eliminated from playoff contention. Vince, you weren't here. I wouldn't let Eric talk about tanking for a better draft pick until they were eliminated from the playoffs. That has since happened.
No music today, then? No REM today? I know we already played it like 2 weeks ago.
All right, you're right. No, okay, hold on. I'll get it ready.
You don't have to. We already played it.
Let's wait for the season to be already over. We did already play it a couple weeks ago, didn't we? That's a tough draw. All right. Wow, I totally... That's on me. Taps chest. Sorry, y'all. I forgot. And for some reason, it doesn't seem that sad. A little expected, but of course, the season isn't over yet, but the season is over, if that makes any sense. The Bucks take on the Mavericks tomorrow night at Pfizer Forum, a 7 p.m. tip for that game. How about, hey, some good news on the court? Unless you're a Duke fan.
Boozer back for Sarr, ahead, Boozer, that ball deflected and stolen by Mullins. Caravan, 2 seconds, Mullins tosses it up.
all courtesy of CBS Sports. A late turnover from Duke and what looked like a 100-footer three. UConn drains it and moves on to be one of the last Final Four teams remaining in the basketball tournament. The tournament resumes on Saturday. UConn will take on Illinois. It's Michigan and Arizona on the other side of the bracket, bidding for a chance for the championship. And finally, more last-second heroics from the Final Four to the Frozen Four, baby.
Can't get to the puck. Caught! No! Viva Las Vegas on Wisconsin to the Frozen Four!
Great call on ESPN2. 24 seconds in overtime. Ben Dexheimer puts it in the back of the net, sealing the Badgers' bid to the Frozen Four tournament. They will take on North Dakota next Thursday on ESPN2. 4 p.m. local puck drop for that one. Badger Sports Update are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more.
Greg Pancake Hill, producer of the program on sports this morning. 6:48 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Having a plan and having a strategy, those are not the same thing. Vince Vitrano here for Margot Media, a Milwaukee-based, full-service digital marketing agency that will help your business grow. So maybe you're out there, you bought a few ads on social media because you know you have to. That's fine, but what's your overall goal? What do you want that marketing to do? Who are you targeting with your ads? Why are your ads running on the platforms they are? When they are? If you don't have answers to some of these basic questions, you do not have a strategy. Not to worry, Margot will take it from there. Shane and his team, they're the experienced professional experts in digital marketing. They will align your business goals with the right digital solutions, and they will deliver measurable results. Free initial consultation, so nothing to lose by reaching out. Tell them Vinny sent you. It's Margle, M-A-R-G-L-E, marglemedia.com.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
From the post-game to the morning show, there's no rest for baseball for Dominic Cotroneo, our Brewers 360 guest every Monday at 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I mean, the marathon can begin now, right? We're ready. Spring training, everyone's here. I've got a fresh tan, and we're ready to start the real season in the cold.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Cannon and Dumphy, and Ridgetop Exteriors. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
At 6:51, let's get an update on the roads here, Debbie.
Little bit of a backup westbound on 94 from about 38th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard. On the eastbound side, a little slow coming out of the stadium interchange to about 35th. Northbound on 41, still heavy from Mayfair Road up to Burleigh. Now the rest of the system is actually looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Mostly sunny for your Monday, 75 inland, cooler by the lake, though just 65 for your high. Tonight, a chance of rain and storms, mostly cloudy, a low of 44. Tuesday, warm with a chance of storms, 65. Wednesday, mostly cloudy and cool, and a chance, Vince, of a rain-snow mix in the afternoon. Your high on Wednesday will be 40. Thursday, rain likely, windy, 50. And Friday, a slight chance of rain, mostly cloudy, and a high of 47.
As you heard Greg say in sports, Brewers go again tonight at American Family Field. Tampa Bay Rays in town for a 3-game set, coming off that dramatic come-from-behind win Sunday afternoon to complete a sweep of the Chicago White Sox to open the season.
Ricky Vaughn, Willie Hayes. I never heard of most of them. Mitchell Friedman. Who are these guys?
Major League. Well, in our case, a lot of familiar names. Part of this year's campaign. WTMJ's Greg Matzik taking a look at who's on the roster.
After 6 weeks in the hot Arizona sun, the Brewers are back in Milwaukee to begin the regular season against the White Sox. Some of the names on the 2026 squad are familiar, but some are not. So who are these guys?
Dead center field home run by Christian Yelich.
Christian Yelich is back for his 9th season with the Brewers. Yelich will be the primary designated hitter for Pat Murphy with occasional starts in left field. It's an outfield loaded with talent and potential, featuring the likes of Garrett Mitchell. The former first-round pick is healthy and ready to go for 2026.
I'm grateful. It's been a long road.
Also back, another former first-round pick, 25-year-old Sal Frelick, beginning his 4th season with the Brewers.
Fly ball to right. Back is Frelick on the warning track. Frelick slides, and he made the catch to avoid at least 2 runs from scoring.
Look for Frelick to bring his Gold Glove caliber defense to right field.
And a fly ball to center. Hit well. PCA's back at the track. Wall!
Now 22 years old, Jackson Chourio begins his 3rd season with the Brewers. Chourio is coming off back-to-back seasons in which he hit more than 20 home runs and stole more than 20 bases. Look for Brandon Lockridge to see plenty of time in the outfield after a breakout spring. Like the outfield, the Brewers' infield features several familiar names and faces from last year's team, including Andrew Vaughn, who had a breakout campaign as a trade target early in the season. Vaughn and Jake Bauers figure to see plenty of time at first base. Bauers coming off a spring in which he hit over 400 with 5 doubles and 6 home runs.
The thing that I feel the best about is the consistency of it. I've really just been trying to focus on a day-to-day approach and been successful with that.
At second base, Bryce Terang, the Gold Glove winning second baseman, had an outstanding performance for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic, earning first team All-World Baseball Classic honors. Another Gold Glove caliber glove, Joey Ortiz, will be the likely starting shortstop. Third base, occupied by a newcomer, Luis Rengifo. Behind the plate, William Contreras brings a steadying influence to the pitching staff.
William Contreras gives the Brewers a 1-0 lead on his 2nd home run of the series.
His backup, veteran Gary Sanchez, in his 2nd stint with the Brewers. The Brewers pitching staff is a mix of veterans such as Brandon Woodruff and Quinn Priester, and youth.
Dominating innings for Jacob Mizorowski on the hill.
Jacob Mizorowski brings one of the game's best arsenals to the mound for the Brewers, beginning his first full season in the big leagues. Talented newcomer, right-handed pitcher Brandon Sproat will earn a start in the first series. The lone lefty in the Brewers rotation is Kyle Harrison, acquired in a 6-player trade with the Red Sox in February.
I've sensed nothing but great things from these guys, and it's a great organization, and I'm just happy to be here.
Right-hander Chad Patrick will also be featured prominently in the rotation. When the starters exit, the bullpen enters, and the back end of the Brewers bullpen is electric.
McGill slams the door, and the Brewers sit alone atop the NL Central.
An All-Star in 2025, McGill closed out 30 games for the Brewers, posting an ERA under 2.5. He's back to close out games again, as is Abner Uribe, likely an 8th inning arm for Pat Murphy. Uribe notched 7 saves last season.
Slider struck him out. Uribe strikes out the side. He puts it in the holster, and the Brewers have a 2-0 lead in the division series.
Look for Aaron Ashby to make some starts and come out of the pen for Pat Murphy as a Swiss Army knife arm for the Brewers. Jake Woodford, recently acquired, is the newest face. Also back, Grant Anderson and D.O. Hall and Jared Kading. In his first season with the Brewers, 26-year-old Angel Zerpa figures to receive high-leverage opportunities throughout the season. Opening day is just the start. The Brewers roster figures to fluctuate throughout the course of the season. With the top farm system in all of baseball, look for names like Jet Williams and Cooper Pratt to influence this year's win total.
Brewers and Rays tonight at American Family Field. 6:40 is the first pitch, 6:05 for the pregame right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
4 months after Wisconsin-based buyers acquire Milwaukee Forge out of receivership, a union leader there says production levels are running low. On the other hand, the new CEO says millions of dollars of orders are booked and the operation is on track for improvement. Kadali America acquires an industrial facility in Mount Pleasant for $25 million. The Chinese company plans to manufacture battery parts there for electric vehicles. Milwaukee-based Sensient Technologies Food Colors division plans a major expansion in St. Louis The $250 million project expected to add over 200 jobs in the Gateway City. I'm Rich Kirchin with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
Look, it's Jake from our store in Kenosha.
Hi, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick.
Your email said you had a big surprise.
Look and tell me what you see.
Wow, I see 9 perfect examples of the classic diamond solitaire engagement ring.
They're gorgeous.
These rings are exactly what people imagine when they hear the words engagement ring.
Monica, do you think it will always be like that?
Evermore.
That long?
And each of these is 3/4 of a carat.
$998.
Unbelievable. So how much do we sell them for?
That is how much we sell them for.
Can we do that?
We're the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America, Rick. We can do anything we want.
But for how long?
Evermore.
People can choose any of the 9 most popular style solitaires, 3/4 of a carat, and each of them was created in the heart of a miniature star.
5 different diamond shapes, 2 colors of gold. Evermore, just $998.
Or $14.98 with 1 carat diamond center with diamonds on the side.
Learn more at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
This pain right here won't go away.
I just felt okay. It's something I'm gonna have to live with.
I just lived with it.
So I suffered with it for several years.
I felt like it was getting worse and worse.
I'm 46 years of age, so I did not want to get a knee replacement. And I was like, something has to be done.
You don't want to have knee surgery if you don't have to.
Once I found Rejuvenex, I feel 100% better.
It eliminated the pain.
All of a sudden I went, oh wow.
I started feeling pretty good.
So now I'm back. I can walk.
I'm excited for myself. I can't wait to continue.
I can stand longer. I can walk longer.
I can run a little bit. I should say jog.
The pain just went away. It's just wonderful.
It's a life changer. I definitely would recommend it.
Go to rejuvenex.com to schedule your appointment.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
7 o'clock. I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. It's Monday, March 30th. Our top story, a teen brawl at Bayshore.
I'm Michelle Richards, in for Eric Bilstead. One step closer to shorter lines at the airport.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. We are looking at a pretty good ride for the most part. We've got eastbound 94 tightening up right through the stadium interchange to about 35th. On westbound, slowing down out of the stadium to almost Hawley Road. We've also got northbound 41 a little heavy from Mayfair Road up to about Burleigh. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast. A nice one day side, 75 inland, 65 at the lake for your high temperatures under mostly sunny skies. Now, tonight we bring in a chance for rain and storms and a low of 44. Milwaukee right now is at 50. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a teen takeover in Glendale. More than a dozen people arrested Sunday afternoon. Hundreds of teenagers gathered at Bayshore.
748, 736, near 25510 West Silver Spring. There is a group of juveniles, unknown amounts, that are causing a disturbance.
Police called and several fights broke out.
Girls arguing, their groups were getting involved. They've been separated.
Police radio transmissions courtesy of Broadcastify. Glendale police posted a reminder from Bayshore just days ago saying anyone under the age of 17 must be accompanied by an adult Fridays through Sundays after 3 p.m.
The trial for the man accused of killing Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corder is set to begin today.
Prosecutors say 23-year-old Tremaine Jones faces charges including first-degree intentional homicide and attempted homicide in connection to a June 2025 shooting near 24th and Garfield. Investigators say Jones was firing a gun before officers arrived, and Officer Corder was shot while responding to the scene. He died days later at the hospital. Jones has pleaded not guilty and could face life in prison if convicted. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
President Trump says the U.S. took out key targets inside Iran, and he has a new message about the future of Iran's oil. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
In a new interview, President Trump says outright that he wants to seize Iran's oil. The president saying, "My favorite thing is to take the oil in Iran, but some stupid people back in the U.S. say, why are you doing that? But they're stupid people." Such a move could involve targeting Karg Island, which handles nearly all of Iran's oil exports.
The war reaching now its 1 month mark. President Trump described negotiations with Iran as, quote, going extremely well.
The first paychecks in weeks are now being sent to airport security workers. But the long nightmare for Homeland Security employees isn't over yet. Here's ABC's Olivia Rubin.
President Trump is promising TSA workers will get paid indefinitely, even as the Homeland Security Department remains shut down.
We're going to pay them for as long as we have to.
They've gone more than a month without pay, prompting a record number to call out or quit, leading to those long airport security lines. Lines so long, some travelers hired people to take their place and wait for them.
President Trump has called on DHS Secretary Markwayne Mullin to pay the TSA.
Madison teacher in custody accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student.
Police arrested 29-year-old Ellie of Goldman on several charges, including child grooming and sexual misconduct. He was working as a music teacher at Vel Phillips Memorial High School and Toki Middle School. The Madison Metropolitan School District says it learned of the inappropriate relationship with a student and placed Goldman on leave on March 20th. Madison police have assigned the case to the Special Victims Unit. Although Goldman is in custody, formal charges have not been filed. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson is spotlighting housing as a top priority in his upcoming State of the City address, which happens later today. During a read-through, Johnson emphasized support for down payment assistance, workforce housing, and partnerships across the city. Mayor Johnson tells WTMJ.
It doesn't matter what type of housing you're looking for, whether it's rental, whether it's homeownership, whether it's single family, whether it's apartment. We're there in all the spaces, and our partners are too. So Milwaukee's a place, that anybody and everybody can call home regardless of what they're looking for.
The mayor says full details about key goals will be unveiled later today.
For Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 7:05.
Get new Pella windows and doors with 0% interest until 2032. PellaWI.com. Wisconsin homes ask a lot of their windows and doors. With our unpredictable weather, they need to perform in every season, year after year. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build everything around quality, durability, and long-term comfort. And right now, we're making long-term comfort easier than ever. Order today and get 0% interest until 2032. Not just a few years, 0% interest all the way until 2032. That means you can upgrade your home now and pay over time without paying a dime in interest. From your free in-home consultation to expert installation, Pella's local team is with you every step of the way, helping you choose the right products for your home, your style, and your budget. And with our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident long after installation day. 0% interest until 2032. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026. Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, and they offer early memory loss classes to help you. They specialize in this area. It's kindness at the core, locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. It's compassion, it's empathy. It's Wisconsin-based and family-owned, always welcoming people to come tour and welcome their new residents. I've seen their places. They're top-notch. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
This summer, don't just work, log off, and become the guy behind the adventure. More laughs, less scrolling. Do summer different at Peak Initiative. We're hiring camp counselors, leaders, swim instructors, and more for our day camp in Milwaukee and over camp in Boscobel, Wisconsin. Earn $650 a week starting pay, plus housing and meals at Lake Valley Camp. Make memories, make an impact. Make this summer count. Apply today at peakinitiative.org/join our team. The Peak Initiative. Do summer different.
Spice up your workday at the original Botanas on 5th Street. Enjoy a flavorful and affordable lunch, including authentic Mexican favorites, seafood and vegetarian dishes, and fish fry every day. Enjoy a free cup of soup with every meal. Mi casa es su casa at Botanas.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 7:07.
Brewers try to stay undefeated tonight. Sports at 7:15.
The Brewers are facing a $20 million challenge just to get the games on your screen this season. FanDuel Sports, the team's usual broadcaster, imploded, leaving the Brewers and MLB to produce games themselves. Tim Gibbons, editor-in-chief at the Milwaukee Business Journal, tells WTMJ.
Major League Baseball is producing the telecast. The Brewers are going to be selling advertising and doing all of that sort of things. The goal of the team, and they're very clear on this, is it's still going to be high quality, exactly what you want if you are watching those games on TV. They're going to have the same play-by-play announcers. They're going to have all of the things that you expect from a baseball telecast.
Viewing experiences will be the same, but behind the scenes, the financial picture has changed entirely.
2025 Summerfest headliner coming back to Milwaukee. Benson Boone bringing his Wanted Man tour to Fiserv Forum this summer. That'll be July 22nd. It'll be the Grammy-nominated singer's third performance here in Milwaukee. Headlined a sold-out show at American Family Insurance Amphitheater last summer, just as he was ramping up.
We were there.
Yeah, was it amazing?
It was amazing. He has... And you don't know how many songs you know of Benson Boone until you go to one of his shows. And it's like, I knew every song. and he does backflips. Like, he's known for this. I think we counted like 7 or 8 backflips off of like the piano and just so much energy.
So this is going to be a hot ticket. General ticket sales begin this week, Friday, for Benson Boone at Fiserv Forum, July 22nd.
Hey, Monday and Tuesday can be a real challenge, right? Make it easier with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love easy, and I love the Fox and Hounds. It's a top choice award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Plus, when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Enjoy a choice steak, the twin lobster tails, the braised pork shank. How about ribs, pasta, seafood, even a big, huge, fresh salad? Any entree, your second dinner is free. Dessert and ice cream drinks, I love those. Also, buy one, get one free. Buy 2, get 2 free. Buy for the table. 4 desserts, get 4 free. Relax with a cocktail, over 20 bourbons, 100 wines. Old World Bar is elegant, 8 beautiful dining rooms. Wherever you live, it's worth a beautiful drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest to the Fox and Hounds. Start your week with a free dinner at the award-winning Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. Tables are open, serving from 4. Dine early at the Fox and Hounds.
A new name, new service, but the same high standards. Winter Services is now Groundmasters, offering year-round commercial property management, now including landscape maintenance. Check them out at groundmasters.com.
Traffic is brought to you by Groundmasters. See all their commercial services at groundmasters.com. Debbie?
Okay, we've got southbound on 43 moving along quite well, as is southbound on 41. We have the northbound side tightening up a little bit, though, from about North Avenue up to Burleigh. Eastbound 94 a little bit heavy coming out of the Stadium interchange heading towards 35th Street. We did have a vehicle fire on northbound 94 right about at Drexel off on the right shoulder, so you want to keep an eye out for that one. We are seeing a little bit of a backup stretching back past Putes Road. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Mostly sunny skies today and a high of 65, Lakeside 75. Inland tonight a low of 44 with a chance of rain and storms. Right now Milwaukee's at 46. High 65, and then the bottom drops out on Wednesday with a high of just 40 degrees. This morning, spring break travel ramping up. TSA workers hoping to see their month plus of back pay showing up in their accounts.
Still happening today.
The partial government shutdown as yet unresolved, but with security wait times at some airports 4 hours long, President Trump signed a directive, an order for TSA to get paid, bringing in ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers from Washington this morning. Karen, do we know for sure that this is going to happen? And if so, when those officers may see that back pay?
Yeah, we're told that they're going to get their back pay that most should expect it starting today via direct deposit. But, it's still unclear if they're going to get their next paycheck. They have missed 2 full paychecks during this 45-day shutdown at this point for DHS. 50,000 TSA officers. And so the president last Friday signed a memo ordering the Department of Homeland Security Secretary to redirect funds to give these officers back pay. There's still a lot of questions. How long is this funding going to last? What happens next? The president was asked about this on Air Force One last night and said, we're going to pay them for as long as we have to. But there's also a big important part of this, too, that I think is worth underlining. 50,000 TSA officers have missed their paychecks. They get their back pay, but there are tens of thousands of other DHS employees. FEMA, for example, Civilian Coast Guard, they're not getting paid right now during this shutdown, and they're not going to get paid through this memo. So the shutdown continues, and Congress is now on recess for 2 weeks. That's the schedule at this point.
Karen Travers live with us from Washington this morning. Yeah, obviously not a long-term solution. You mentioned members of Congress on their own spring break here, leaving this unresolved. To what degree is the White House signaling that the president may get involved in these negotiations?
They're not signaling that yet. We're going to hear from the White House press secretary today, Caroline Leavitt, at 1 p.m. for a briefing. It will be notable if there's, an increased pressure from the administration now for Congress to come back to resolve this. We'll see if the president does that himself on social media. But they're gone. And, what we're hearing from Republican Senate aides is that they're not coming back. They're not pulling them back to try to vote on what the House passed on Friday because it's dead on arrival in the Senate. Senate Democrats have said that there's no way they would vote for what the House passed, which was funding of all of DHS through May 22nd. So at this point, they're pretty much in a standoff.
Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent, live with us this morning. Thank you, Karen.
Have a great day.
Coming up on 7:14 here on Wisconsin's Morning News, should point out that some airports are reporting their wait times are lesser than they have been at the peak of the worst of it. What did you say, 4 hours in Atlanta, Houston?
Yeah,
even
others. More.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were making announcements over the loudspeaker. Please contact your airline now to reschedule your flight because you may not get through the line.
If you're at this point in the line and your flight's here, you're not going to make it. Right? So some of that appears to be easing. In Milwaukee, we've largely had good wait times. The airport director having told us last week, 2.5 hours will get you comfortably through. And if that changes significantly, that Milwaukee Mitchell would issue some sort of statement or messaging to let people know. 7:15, sports up next on Wisconsin's Morning News.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in-store and online. Staples. That was easy.
WTMJ's Home Improvement Showcase, sponsored by Siding Unlimited. SidingUnlimited.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Okay, I know I'm new sports guy, right? And I understand the importance of sportscasts is that we present facts and numbers as much as we are fans, right? That's important as far as the integrity of a sportscast. Well, I got you a true stat right here. Your Milwaukee Brewers are on pace for a 162-0 season, baby.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone!
Yeah, they're down all game to the White Sox. Lane Grindle on the call, by the way, on the Brewers Radio Network. Christian Yelich with his first career pinch hit home run, if you can believe it. Came at a good time, too. Bottom of the eighth, 2 outs, 2 strikes. Here's the skipper post game.
This is kind of what we want to create here, is that we're never out of a game. We're not giving up. We're going to continue to play. And we know we're only a couple pitches away, no matter what the score is.
I really like that that's kind of the mantra every year for this team, and this year seems no different.
The Woodpeckers.
And honestly, it proves pretty well, NLCS last year, and we continue. The Brewers open up the season with a series sweep against the White Sox. Next up, the Tampa Bay Rays are in town. Kyle Harrison toes the rubber for the Crew tonight, a 6:40 first pitch, which you can catch right here on WTMJ when our coverage starts at 6. From the diamond to the ice rink, Badgers men's hockey team taking on Michigan State. right. They were down 3-1 in the third period. They send it to overtime and 24 seconds left.
Can't get to the puck. Puck, no! Viva Las Vegas on Wisconsin to the Frozen Four!
Great call on ESPN2. By the way, 24 seconds into overtime, not left overtime. Just want to clarify that. That was the game-winning goal. Not to mention the Badgers scored 2 goals under 5 minutes in the third period. They are headed to the Frozen Four. Their opponent will be North Dakota, who is no pushover, by the way. They have been, I don't think they have given up a goal all this tournament. So that will be a challenge for the Badgers. Las Vegas, April 9th with a 4 p.m. local puck drop on ESPN2 if you'd like to watch that one. Badger Sports Updates are brought to you by Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more. Meanwhile, the Bucks dropped their game to the Clippers yesterday afternoon. They have officially been eliminated from playoff contention. Tough look for the Bucks. They're back at it tomorrow at home against the Mavericks at 7. In college basketball tournament, the last 4 remaining, or the final 4, I don't know. I mean, at this point, I'm not caught up in the legalities. I'll wear that one for you, Wisconsin. I'll wear it. By the way, Duke loses and stunned in the final seconds of their game. UConn hitting a go-ahead 3 with 0.3 seconds left in the game. Meanwhile, Tennessee got rolled by Michigan. The tournament resumes on Saturday. UConn, aforementioned, taking on Illinois. Michigan squaring off against Arizona. I want to go back to baseball for a second. We have our first regular season ejection due to the ABS challenging. Orioles Twins in Baltimore. It's the top of the 9th. Orioles are up 8-6. Full count. Ump calls it a ball. The pitcher challenges it. It's called a strike from ABS. Twins manager Derek Melton is pissed because he thinks the pitcher didn't get the challenge off in time. Here's the awesome call on the broadcast.
And the runner, Keyshaw, will be sent back to first. And Derek Shelton's been thrown out. He's arguing with the robots. You can't defeat the robots.
So why do I bring up an Orioles-Twins game? Why? Because this is going to happen. It's going to happen in Milwaukee. It's going to happen to the Brewers. Now, whether they're on the good end or the poor end, that's up to be determined. But this will happen. You will see this during a Brewers game this season. I promise.
Greg Pancake Hill on Sports Forest this morning. Week ahead is next.
We see you out there coming up with original ideas, which is why you shop at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, because you know when inspiration rises, we'll have what you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Get a head start on spring savings with $7 off Estate Crabgrass Preventer, just $29.99, 20% off all Jiffy seed starting accessories, and get $2 off assorted AgriMaster livestock feed. Find the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet, being original.
Hey everybody, Debbie Loziga here for Car Edge. Are you tired of the excruciating car buying process, spending hours searching for your ideal car and haggling at the dealerships? Well, my friends at Car Edge have completely revolutionized the industry. They communicate with multiple dealerships for you, scoring you the lowest price possible while you remain completely anonymous. No spam calls, no pressure. Join thousands of happy customers with an average review of 4.9 stars. For a limited time, WTMJ fans get 20% off their services. Call 414-667-7413 or visit caredge.com/WTMJ.
The Mine Chef Restaurant's Good Friday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is just $9.99. Easter brunch is an all-you-can-eat feast. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free in Hartford and Oshkosh. Google, call, and reserve your family table today. The Mine Shaft.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Hey, WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here, reminding you to subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News Podcast. We update it every day with every interview, every segment, every bit we do on the show.
Wait, we don't do bits on the show.
That's a lie. I'm going to Potawatomi if I can get there.
Bill!
I got bit by one, and I liked it.
All right, maybe we do some bits.
I don't even know what that means.
Be sure you subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News Podcast, presented by Tri-County Contracting.
7:21. Let's check in with Time Saver Traffic and Debbie.
Well, we've got a vehicle fire northbound on 94, right about at Drexel Avenue, off on the right shoulder. Now, they put the fire out, but we do have delays stretching all the way back to about Ryan Road. So that's going to be a tight ride. Not fun. So give yourself time. Eastbound 94 backing up from about Hawley Road all the way to 35th. Westbound's cleared up nicely. We've got northbound 41 heavy from just before North Avenue all the way up to about Burleigh. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Mostly sunny today, 75 for your high. Inland, 65 at the lakefront. Tonight, a chance of rain and storms, mostly cloudy, a low of 44. Tuesday, warm with a chance of storms, 65. Wednesday, mostly cloudy and cool. We could see a rain-snow mix in the afternoon, a high of 40. Thursday, rain likely, windy, a high of 50. And Friday, a slight chance of rain, mostly cloudy skies, and a high of just 47.
Happy Monday!
It's time to look at the week ahead.
What a Monday morning.
So this is the part where Eric usually says, what are you going to see in your timeline, on the TV, reading the headlines, seeing your social media feed, here on the radio?
Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie you selected?
I was going to do it. I did it for you last week, but no worries. Why don't you just tell me what's happening?
Yes, your week ahead. Today is Monday, March 30th, 2026. It is the Christian observation of Holy Week and a first for the American Pope.
Oh my God, the Chicago guy!
The Chicago guy, Pope Leo XIV, leads Holy Thursday or Maundy Thursday services at the Vatican on Thursday. For area Catholics, Milwaukee Archbishop Jeffrey Grom will preside over the Holy Thursday services, Stations of the Cross at Holy Hill on Good Friday, and liturgy at the Cathedral, Easter Vigil on Saturday. Then Archbishop Emeritus Jerome Listecki will celebrate Easter Mass on Sunday at 11 a.m. Jewish holiday Passover beginning Wednesday at sundown, continuing into Thursday. Today, Wisconsin State Representative Bob Donovan and Republican candidate for governor Tom Tiffany have a news conference. They want to end emissions testing for vehicles in Wisconsin. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson gives his State of the City address tonight.
I'm excited about talking about and informing the public in a greater sense about how these things will continue to help Milwaukee to change and evolve and lower costs for folk.
Mayor speaking at Dr. Howard Fuller Collegiate Academy with his annual address beginning at 5:30. Trial this week for the 23-year-old man charged with killing Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corder last summer and injuring his partner Christopher McCrae in an ambush-style attack. Jury selection in the homicide trial for Tremaine Jones begins today. At the ballpark.
Whoa! That didn't take long at all!
Brewers continue their opening season homestand. It's UPath night at American Family Field. Activations around the ballpark. President and CEO of the United Performing Arts Fund will be signing people up for the Ride for the Arts this spring and throwing out the first pitch.
I got my wife, I got my mother, I got my brothers, I got to go to church, man. I ain't got time for all that.
But the busy man will have time for Milwaukee Bucks Foundation 6-man soiree. The Bucks throwing their third annual fundraising event to support health initiatives that are a pillar of the foundation. Entire Bucks roster is expected to be on hand at Fiserv Forum. Tickets still available at bucks.com.
Dr. Rosen, I'm here to get to the record. It's Dr. Rosen.
It's National Doctors Day today, so salute to Dr. Rosen. If you know, you know. And all other great docs. Shout out to my medical team at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Tuesday, Q3 earnings due out for Nike.
If we learn anything from sports, it's that no matter how far down we may be, we are never too far down to come back.
I hope that's true. Now, this is mostly a note to self. Huge Nike fan myself, and I own for fun 8 shares of Nike stocks. But those 8 shares have lost about $1,000 in value over the last several years. See if my team out there in Beaverton, Oregon has things figured out. One of these years I'm going to go to the shareholders meeting. You're going to have to deal with me out there. Let's stay on the West Coast for Wednesday, 50th anniversary of the founding of this company.
You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try to sell it.
Los Altos, California, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak founded Apple Computers, first producing, of course, the Apple I and Apple II. U.S. Supreme Court, Wednesday, set to hear oral arguments on birthright citizenship, a challenge to President Trump's executive order, which seeks to end the automatic citizenship for children born in the U.S. if their parents are in the country illegally or temporarily. Also Wednesday,
Happening maybe.
Yeah, maybe Wednesday, as early as Wednesday.
That's no moon.
But it is the moon, Obi-Wan. The window opens to launch Artemis 2. NASA could go with astronauts on board for lunar orbit as early as Wednesday morning. Would be the first time humans left Earth orbit since the last lunar landing in 1972. On Thursday, Wisconsin State Supreme Court, one night only. Judge Maria Lazar, favored by conservatives. Judge Chris Taylor, favored by liberals, square off in their only debate less than a week before the spring election. Now, this debate was rescheduled, was supposed to be last week, but Judge Taylor ended up in the hospital with kidney stones, and so it will be tonight, 7 o'clock on Channel 12. Maybe it's Kegel's, maybe the Packing House, Serb Hall, or the corner pub in your community. Everybody got a fish fry on this Good Friday. Lakefront Brewery in Milwaukee says they typically go through 375 pounds of cod on any given Lenten Friday night. Men's and women's NCAA Final Four games this weekend. The women today and then the championship on Sunday. The men tomorrow with their final. The men on Saturday with their final on Monday night. In hockey, the Badgers are in the Frozen Four.
Sure, old-time hockey, like 80s Shore. Yeah.
Wisconsin plays North Dakota in the semifinals, chasing their first championship in 20 years. Badgers and North Dakota puck drops at 4 p.m. in Las Vegas. At the movies.
How can you even trust her?
You're being incredibly hypocritical.
There's some drama. It's very funny.
Zendaya and Robert Pattinson star in a romantic drama. It's called The Drama. This is about a couple whose relationship takes an unexpected dark turn just before their wedding day.
Dun, dun, dun.
Also coming out this week, a film exploring the friendship between renowned preacher George Whitefield and Benjamin Franklin, and the Super Mario movie premieres this week as well. That's your week ahead for Monday, March 30th, 2026. Here's about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average was down nearly 800 points on Friday to 45,167. The NASDAQ was down more than 450 points, and the S&P 500 was off over 100 points to 63.69. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. There's not a bad time to do a home insulation project, but there's a better time, and we're in it right now. Vince Vitrano here talking with Jeff Bear of USA Insulation. Good to see you, Jeff.
Good to see you too, Vince.
So why is this a really good time to get an insulation project done on your home?
Spring and summer are usually best because the lead times are not booked out as far when it comes to the customers looking to get it done. It's more of a moderate temperature, and they're just not thinking about it. When we get into winter, everybody wants to get it done.
You know, that's interesting because insulation works as hard during the summer months to keep your cool in as it does to keep the heat in during the winter.
Sure does. You know, it's going to save on the running of your air conditioning unit and or your furnace depending on the time of the season.
Jeff Bear is with us from USA Insulation. I think you told me, Jeff, that some homes built before a certain time might have no insulation at all?
That's true, Vince. Most homes built before 1970 may have little to no insulation at all.
I know folks who've seen your commercials, usainsulation.net. You've seen the, as I call it, that pink injection foam that goes inside the walls. You go bottom to top. You come in through the exterior on that. You can do that, but also if you just want some extra insulation in the attic, or you can do the bat, the blow-in. You do all types of insulation projects.
Absolutely.
Well, tell me a little bit about how that process works, because I know that you like to share with folks. They can save a whole bunch of money through government rebates and credits that are available.
Yes. We are trade ally partners with Focus on Energy, which allows us to give out rebates. Most customers are generally seeing anywhere from $1,200 to in excess of $3,000 just on Focus on Energy rebates. And then there's also the IRA Homes and Here's program, which can save a customer anywhere from an additional $1,600 to $10,000.
Best part about that is I don't need to go around and search on the internet to figure out how to get that. You do all the work for me?
Correct. Our office will handle all the paperwork. The only thing our customers need to do is fill out a simple income qualification form online.
Jeff Bear from USA Insulation. Visit them at usainsulation.net.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Social Security benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Unable to work due to health problems? Let Tayback help you get approved for the Social Security benefits you're entitled to. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Trump this morning threatening to attack Iran's power plants, oil wells, and desalinization plants unless there's a ceasefire agreement and the Strait of Hormuz is opened shortly. But he also said there's been great progress made on talks with Iran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio speaking to ABC News this morning.
The president has a number of options available to him if he so chooses to prevent that from happening. Obviously, I'm not going to discuss what those options are, and we're not going to discuss military tactics. The Department of War would be in charge of those things. I'd refer you to them, but obviously they're not going to discuss it with you either. But there is a way forward here to achieve our objectives.
TSA workers supposed to start being paid today for the first time in weeks under orders from President Trump last week, but the rest of DHS is still going unpaid. An art heist in northern Italy where thieves hit a museum and took 3 works worth about $8 million, and they did it in less than 3 minutes. This is ABC News.
Well, we do have a vehicle fire northbound on 94 right about at Drexel Avenue. They've put the fire out, but it is off on the right, and that's why we got some delays coming up from Ryan Road all the way up to that point. More delays, just general volume on northbound 4394 starting at about Holt Avenue all the way up past Lincoln. Eastbound 94, that's slowing down from 76th Street all the way to 35th. Westbound slowing from about 30th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast for today. 75 inland, 65 lakeside for your high temperatures under mostly sunny skies. And a low of 44 tonight with a chance of rain and storms. Milwaukee right now at 48. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, trial for the man accused of killing a Milwaukee police officer, Kendall Corridor, set to begin today. Prosecutors say 23-year-old Tremaine Jones is the man who killed Officer Corridor and tried to kill his partner. Jones has pleaded not guilty and could face life in prison if convicted.
Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson has his State of the City speech tonight.
Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson is turning the spotlight on housing. In a preview of his State of the City speech,
every person who lives in Milwaukee, and those who want to, they should have access to an affordable, safe home that meets their needs. That's what we're striving for here in the Year of House.
Mayor Johnson tells WTMJ,
I've never seen the amount of RSVPs to a State of the City address like we've seen for this, because folks are interested in this topic. And I think they're interested, because, housing is such a big and important issue for people, not just here in Milwaukee, but all over the state and all across the country.
The full State of the City address is Monday evening at 5:30. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
News is brought to you by J&J Contractors. Visit jjcontractorsllc.com.
Dreaming of a home renovation? J&J Contractors has been turning houses into dreams for over 40 years. From stunning kitchens and luxurious bathrooms to finished lower levels, they handle complete renovations that elevate your space. And don't forget about the outside. J&J Contractors specialize in roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Schedule your free consultation today. Just Google J&J Contractors or call 414-423-9200. J&J Contractors. Welcome home.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. 1896, Horicon Bank first opened its doors. Wisconsin wasn't even 50 years old.
We've maintained our roots over the years and yet expanded.
We empower our people to invest in the community. We give them 40 hours of volunteer time.
We're doing it with a personal touch, with a desire to say yes to our customers.
You shouldn't have to work with a bank that sends their profits to New York City or Toronto. You can keep your money here and it benefits Wisconsin.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
Let the rays bring the sunshine. We'll bring the fireworks.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone!
The Brewers look to shut down the Tampa Bay Rays and light up the sky in American Family Field.
Christian Yelich, a 3-run blast.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 7:37.
Brewers are on fire, and the Badgers chasing a championship. Sports at 7:45.
Barbie fans say their dreams turned into nightmares at an event in Florida over the weekend. CBS's Deborah Rodriguez.
Barbie fans say they got ripped off after paying $72 for day passes and $450 for VIP tickets for what was billed as a glittery dream fest in Fort Lauderdale.
That skating rink thing, it's laughable. The interactive dream house is not.
Video footage shows a nearly empty convention floor.
I heard somebody say that they felt fire-fested.
They did get to hear from the WNBA's Angel Reese and tennis great Serena Williams, who won the event's Icon Award.
I don't think an icon has to be someone that's been super successful. It could be your next door neighbor. It could be your mom.
Organizers are promising full refunds. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
There are pictures. There are videos. I mean, picture your basic gigantic convention center room with a concrete floor and like pink balloon arches and little individual air. I mean, it just was ugly.
It looked like somebody made it in their garage, right?
And
brought
the
these
dream house.
set pieces in.
Yes, there was supposed to be a Barbie dream house, and it was basically like a smaller than one-story cardboard facade with some AstroTurf laid out in front of it.
Yeah, pretty disappointing. They must have spent all their money on the appearance fees for their big stars, which is part of the event, yes, but a lot of littles were just there to see the dream house. We had Greg, do you remember? Was it Oompa Loompas or something like that? Somebody overseas, wasn't there a Willy Wonka bus?
About the Willy Wonka festival,
Yes.
and it was like there was like a blow up rainbow, and then there was like maybe a screen where you put your head through, and it's like and then like that was kind of it. I do remember
nothing to
that.
eat and nothing to do. Same exact thing.
Same
People
thing.
walked in and were like, "What?" 7:39. Sorry, almost cost you an hour on Wisconsin's Morning News.
We'll make your ads potent, memorable, and effective. Whether it's radio, TV, billboards, or digital, our understanding of the market and long-standing relationships are unmatched. Anderson Smith represents a substantial amount of advertising billing, which will benefit you in getting much more for your ad dollar. Our compensation model is designed to make it affordable for businesses like yours to use us. And we hold on to our clients because what we do works, and they trust us. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. Too many times was I told, just go out there and sell something. Too many times did an advertiser buy just one package only to be disappointed. I'll give it a try, they said. You know, I was just doing my job until I realized that job set a lot of people up for advertising failure. So we started Anderson Smith, and since then, we've retained many clients for over a decade and have been a valuable asset to their business because we're helping them rather than just selling them. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
Well, you're probably going to see it happen again today if you haven't already. Vince Vitrano here for the Bug Man and Queen Bee. Spring is upon us, and this is the time of year bugs start reemerging inside your home. These are the bugs who spent the winter nesting in your house. And now they're back because they're waking up, and that is super gross. Let's get it taken care of. And you can do that by supporting a local, veteran-owned and operated business. Adam is the bug man himself. It's his family business, and what they do is they come out with the indoor creepy crawly eliminator service. Now, that takes care of the bugs that are already inside. Looking ahead, you can book your spring exterior treatment as well. Adam's going to get that going here in short order, and that'll keep the bugs from coming back in. Support local, support veterans, keep your home bug-free, and tell Julie over there when you call that Vinny sent you. Bugmanqueenbee.com.
Save big money on your spring project at Menards. Fresh green grass makes your yard look effortlessly elegant. And Menards offers a wide variety of grass seed options for every type of yard. A 3-pound bag of sunny or shady area grass seed will provide you a lush lawn this spring. On sale now through April 5th. Plus, visit Menards.com and check out all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Time saver traffic, 741. Debbie.
Eastbound 94 backing up from 76th Street all the way to 35th. Westbound slowing down from 30th Street past Mitchell Boulevard. A little heavy spot between Elm Grove Road and Sunny Slope, so give yourself a little extra time there. Northbound 41, you got backups from before Mayfair Road all the way up to Burleigh. And then we've got more delays northbound on 4394 coming out of the Plainfield Curve all the way to Lincoln Avenue. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
From TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson with your Storm Team forecast. It's the pick day of the week, mostly sunny with temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s at the lakefront. Certainly could make a run into the mid 70s farther inland. Lake breeze kicks in late this afternoon. Falling temperatures into the overnight. Lows dip back into the mid 40s. We are on the lookout for the chance of some showers and even a few thunderstorms tonight. A couple of those storms could be on the stronger side if they are able to develop. We'll hold on to warm conditions into Tuesday. Highs in the mid 60s with more chances of rain and thunderstorms.
Milwaukee at 46.
Come with me now.
They found that kangaroo.
Chesney?
You knew it. You've been following this story?
Yes. Who hasn't?
This is in Necedah, which is Prittner, Wisconsin Dells, maybe like a little northwest of the Dells. That area, and this 16-month-old kangaroo named, Chesney, Michelle, had escaped from an outside enclosure from Sunshine Farm Petting Zoo. And, yes, there was days where the kangaroo was on the run all over town. They had spotted the kangaroo here or there.
There were videos I saw on social, people spotting the kangaroo.
This part stood out. So, The end of the story and the important part is Chesney is back and safe with Chesney's family, and all is well. But a lot of folks follow the saga playing out on social media. I thought this was interesting. So Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel wrote up the story. Hannah Kirby is the reporter. And I wonder if Hannah's not a country fan, because here's a line that she wrote. Maryland, so this is the woman, Debbie Maryland. She's the owner of that petting zoo. Said Maryland's two kangaroos, Chesney and Kenny, are part of the family and usually kept in the house. Wouldn't you have said Kenny Chesney?
Yes.
Kenny and Chesney?
Yes.
If you were a country fan, like if you got the joke. So I don't know, but JS had some reporting on all of this, but it was quite the saga on social media. Tons of comments on Facebook as this woman, Debbie Maryland, was detailing their continued search. I guess, I don't know if they both do, but Chesney, she says, lives inside the house.
And we saw images of the kangaroo with a diaper on.
So, as I suppose you would have to have if you wanted Chesney to be in the house. But all is well there.
They don't have kangaroo litter boxes, do they?
I guess not. Hard enough, right? All is well there in Necedah. Chesney is back home. 7:44. Sports up next on Wisconsin's Morning News.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in eastern Wisconsin. So there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit Froedtert.com/cancer.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
We're going to do this report like Memento. Remember that movie, Memento? Here is what Christian Yelich said post-game to our very own Josh Mauer.
Hey, I was just trying to put a good swing on something. In that situation, we had the tying run on third base, so I was just trying to hit something hard, have a good at-bat. Homer was the farthest thing from my mind.
Farthest thing on your mind, you say, huh? Minutes before.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone!
See, you get the Memento joke? I won't explain it because then that spoils the entire movie, but I won't do that.
It was the foreshadowing.
Aha!
And then you went backwards.
Indeed. Well, there it is. All right. Indeed. Christian Yelich.
I guess I spoiled the movie.
Wow. First career pinch hit home run. Like, think about that for a second. Now, obviously, MVP type caliber player doesn't get a lot of pinch hit opportunities, but pretty cool in 13 seasons. That was his first one. They put the Brewers up 9-7 in the 8th. That was, by the way, a 2-out, 2-strike pitch that he sent out of the yard. That would cap a 6-run 8th inning for the Crew, which would lead them to a season-opening series sweep against the White Sox. Up next for the Brewers, they take on the Tampa Bay Rays here at home. 6:40 first pitch for our coverage right here on WTMJ. Will begin at 6. It's Kyle Harrison, the new guy, will toe the rubber for the Crew. Should be a good one at AmFam Field. Meanwhile, the Bucks.
Been a tough stretch, and today the Cards were stacked against the Bucks.
Does he mean a tough stretch or a tough stretch today? Because it's been all of those things. Indeed, the Bucks, that is, fall to the Clippers again. 127-113. This would make a losing series at home, and they are now finally eliminated from playoff contention. If you listened last week, I would not allow Eric to talk about tanking, the perpetual problem in the NBA. But you really got nothing to play for 2 weeks left to go in the season.
No, we're not supposed to say it out loud, so just...
Shh. Oh, okay. All right. Well, then everything's fine. Then let's just go about that. The Bucks, by the way, are back at it tomorrow night at Pfizer Forum, a 7 p.m. tip against the Mavericks. We'll do some good news on the court, unless you're a Duke fan.
Boozer back for Sarr. Ahead. Boozer. That ball deflected and stolen by Mullins. Caravan, 2 seconds. Mullins tosses it up. Oh! It's good. We're pouring 3. UConn goes in front.
That's such an awesome call from CBS Sports. A late turnover from Duke. What looked like to be a 100-footer behind the arc. UConn drains the 3, moves on to be one of the last 4 teams remaining in the big basketball tournament. The tournament resumes Saturday. UConn will take on Illinois. It's Michigan and Arizona on the other side, bidding for a chance at the championship. And finally, more last-second heroics from the Final Four to the Frozen Four.
Can't get to the puck. Puck, no! Viva Las Vegas on Wisconsin to the Frozen Four!
Another great call. I'm so spoiled. There's been so many awesome calls last weekend. 24 seconds into overtime. Ben Dexheimer puts it in the back of the net, sealing their bid to the Frozen Four tournament. Now the Badgers will take on North Dakota next Thursday at ESPN2. 4 p.m. puck drop for that one, local time in Vegas. North Dakota's no pushover. I don't believe they've given up a goal in the tournament.
Oh, my God.
So they are kind of, they are going to be a force to reckon with, but I'm sorry. The Badgers hockey team, both sides, men's, women's, all good things are coming to that team. So good luck to them as the tournament continues. Badger Sports updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Well, our homes need to be ready for just about anything in Wisconsin year-round. That's why Pella focuses on quality and durability in everything they do. The right windows and doors can vastly improve your home's comfort, efficiency, and overall style. And with Pella, you'll get expert recommendations designed around your home, your needs, and your budget. And don't miss out on 0% financing until 2032. This offer ends on the 31st of March. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Struggling to provide for your family is a real thing, like having to choose between feeding them a warm meal or paying the utility bill. These are the choices many Milwaukee residents are faced with, which is why they turn to St. Vincent de Paul Society's meal program for help. Our meal program has been a consistent resource for those in need for over 42 years. Nutritious meals, warm showers, and clean clothes, all in a safe, family-friendly environment. Our mission is clear, and that's to help you break the cycle of poverty by connecting you with life-changing community and educational resources. Last year, we provided $2.2 million in goods and services, plus 57,000 warm meals. If you or anyone you know needs a warm evening meal, you can find us at Harambe Kitchen 5 nights a week on the northeast side of Milwaukee in the basement of All People's Church. And at Crossroads Kitchen on the south side of Milwaukee 6 nights a week on 9th and Madison. As always, we're grateful for community members and volunteers who help us help you. To learn more, visit svdpmilw.org.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Time saver traffic, and then Mark Tauscher. Debbie.
Got some backups on northbound 4394 coming out right around the Plainfield curve all the way up to Lincoln. We've also got eastbound 94 heavy from 76th Street to 35th, westbound slow from 35th all the way to Hawley Road. More delays west of Highway 100 towards the county line. We've also got northbound on 41 backing up from just south of Swan Boulevard all the way to Burleigh. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast for today, 65 Lakeside, 75 your high temperature away from Lake Michigan under mostly sunny skies with a low of 44 tonight and a chance of rain and storms. Tuesday, high 65, chance of storms. And then Wednesday, the bottom drops out with a high of just 40 degrees and a rain-snow mix possible in the afternoon and evening hours. Right now at 46.
Idea Man.
I understand the whole concept of retiring numbers. You look at the Boston Celtics, they got 50 numbers retired. People are starting to decimalize their jersey number.
Innovative.
Definitely, if you're a decimal point guy, that's like back in the old days when I would walk on at Wisconsin.
And Packers Hall of Famer.
You got the issue gear, and it was number 140. Kind of let you know where you're at.
It's time for Tausch on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Mark Tausch on Wisconsin's Morning News, sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Morning, Tausch. Welcome back.
Oh, good morning, everybody. How are we today?
Doing well. Want to ride the Brewers winning streak here as we start off the week. So the Brewers couldn't possibly have started much better. 3-0 to start the season. Come from behind win yesterday. Down 4-0 in the first. Down 7-2 at one point. My question for you is, to me, these wins are so much more valuable than 1 in 162 in terms of the W, Tausch. It builds the identity of a team when you come back on somebody in a game you weren't supposed to win, right? And you overcome all those odds and adversity. This can be instructive and build the culture of the team you have for the rest of the season.
No doubt about it. And I think it's really important, especially when you're not a Yankees or a Dodgers or Red Sox or whoever it is, when you're constantly kind of, you trade away your best pitcher in Peralta, and there's always that doubt. And I know those guys, and Murph has got those guys confident and believing in themselves, but there's always that doubt on the outside. And when you're a team like the Milwaukee Brewers and your payroll isn't going to be up at the top, every season is such a new challenge. And in sports, I've said this for as many years as we've been doing this, confidence is everything and belief that you can. So, yeah, opening day and the first 3 or 4. I mean, last year, if you look back, we got spanked pretty good by the Yankees. And everybody's talking about that new bat. Oh, my God, how is there? And nobody's talked about it. There is something. This is a resilient group, and I think that's why we all love Murph. But there is something to be said about in sports, in all of these leagues, to get off to a fast start, because the best way to get a locker room to believe and to see that your way and how you approach your off season works is to see results. And when you have a great comeback like yesterday and now you're 3-0, yeah, there's going to be ebbs and flows, but you really want to get that buy-in and that belief as soon as you possibly can. And it looks like the Brewers are off to that start.
Greg Pancake Hill had a segment this week. Greg, can you play that thing for Tausch with? So the baseball has gone to this, ABS system, automated balls and strikes. So players can challenge balls and strikes calls. We have our first real controversy with that.
Yeah. So it was 8-6. Tausch was in Baltimore. Baltimore's pitching, and it's against the Twins. And basically, full count up, calls it a ball. Pitcher challenges it. Call from ABS. The Twins manager, Derek Melton, was freaking out because he thought the pitcher didn't get the challenge off in time. Here's the call on the Orioles broadcast.
And the runner, Keyshaw, will be sent back to first. And Derek Shelton's been thrown out. He's arguing with the robots. You can't defeat the robots.
Who threw him out? Did the robot throw him out?
No, the ump threw out Melton and Shelton because they was mad that they was arguing. But the point, I brought it up, Tausch, because this is going to happen to the Brewers at one point, right? Whether they're on the end that's good or bad, that's up for determination. But there will be an ABS call that will impact the Brewers this season.
I feel like you should make sure that is going to be a hotkey. You can't beat robots. And I think as our world continues to evolve, that is going to be more and more part of our daily life. But, yeah, we all want the calls to be right. And there's different ways of doing it. Tennis, I think, has really crushed it with their replay system. Now they don't even have human beings calling things. It's all robotic. And in baseball, I love this. Because I'm so sick of in the NBA and in college, these guys doing this, replay, every play is going to be replayed. Have some accountability. If the batter feels like it, you tap the helmet, and you see right there, it either is or it isn't, a ball or a strike, and the umps, we all want umps to be accountable. Well, now they're getting to have some accountability. It's not all the time, but I think all of this is going to be, they're going to figure out the process that makes it right. There are going to be some hiccups. This seems, I don't know what this hiccup ended up being, but we want the calls to be right, and we want the games to be as fairly officiated as they can. And I think this process is going to get it there, but it might be a little bit ugly. But the overall thing, you ain't going to beat robots. We're going to find that out as we continue on in society, I believe.
He's arguing with the robots. You can't defeat the robots.
Business Journal Report is up next. Thanks, Tausch.
Can't say it better myself.
Sponsored by the Alliance Smarter Networks. Serious savings.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
4 months after Wisconsin-based buyers acquire Milwaukee Forge out of receivership, a union leader there says production levels are running low. On the other hand, the new CEO says millions of dollars of orders are booked and the operation is on track for improvement. Kadali America acquires an industrial facility in Mount Pleasant for $25 million. The Chinese company plans to manufacture battery parts there for electric vehicles. Milwaukee-based Sensient Technologies Food Colors Division plans a major expansion in St. Louis. The $250 million project expected to add over 200 jobs in the Gateway City. I'm Rich Kirchen with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
Tired of watching your company's healthcare costs rise 8, 9, or even double-digit percentages every year? There's a better way with The Alliance. For more than 35 years, employers have turned to The Alliance to lower their healthcare costs, improve access to high-value care, and keep their employees healthy. With powerful data and insights, The Alliance gives self-funded employers the tools to make informed decisions that help bend the medical cost trend. And it's working. Employers of all sizes and industries are seeing measurable results, from fewer unnecessary procedures and lower out-of-pocket costs to shorter recovery times and more productive, engaged workforces. The Alliance's recent partnerships with major health systems in the Midwest are giving employees even more in-network options close to home, making care more convenient and more affordable. Because when employees get the right care at the right time, everyone benefits. The Alliance. Smarter networks, serious savings. Learn more at the-alliance.org.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Let the Rays bring the sunshine. We'll bring the fireworks.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair and gone!
The Brewers look to shut down the Tampa Bay Rays and light up the sky at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Eight o'clock, I'm Vince Vetrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. Today is Monday, March 30th. Let's get right to Debbie Lazaga to check.
Yeah, right now
we're traffic.
Yeah, we're looking at eastbound 94 from about 76th Street all the way through to the Stadium interchange. The westbound side's backed up from 35th all the way to Hawley Road, and then from just west of Highway 100 all the way past Elm Grove Road. Northbound on 41 slowing from Swan Boulevard all the way to Burleigh, and then we've got westbound 894 backing up out of the Mitchell interchange all the way to about 68th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast, a high of 65 lakeside, 75 inland under mostly sunny skies, and a low of 44 tonight with a chance of rain and storms. Milwaukee temp at 50 right now, and from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, trial set to begin today for the man accused of killing a Milwaukee police officer, Kendall Corder.
Prosecutors say 23-year-old Tremaine Jones faces charges including first-degree intentional homicide and attempted homicide in connection to a June 2025 shooting near 24th and Garfield. Investigators say Jones was firing a gun before officers arrived, and Officer Corder was shot while responding to the scene. He died days later at the hospital. Jones has pleaded not guilty and could face life in prison if convicted. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
A teen takeover in Glendale. More than a dozen people were arrested Sunday afternoon after hundreds of teenagers gathered at Bayshore Mall.
748, 736, near 20510 West Silver Spring. There is a group of juveniles, unknown amounts, that are causing a disturbance. They've been asked to leave at Bayshore.
And several fights also broke out.
Two girls arguing. Their groups were getting involved. They've been separated.
That audio from Broadcastify. Glendale police posting a reminder from Bayshore Mall just days ago that anyone under the age of 17 must be accompanied by an adult Fridays through Sundays after 3 in the afternoon.
Over the weekend, another round of No Kings protests against the Trump administration.
The protest on the corner of Bradford Avenue and Downer Avenue drew a large crowd Saturday on Milwaukee's east side. Jacqueline tells WTMJ.
The Donald Trump administration ruined a ton of people's lives. Lives of people that I love, lives of people I don't know.
Protests took place across the state, including in Milwaukee's Washington Park, Greenfield, Brookfield, Muskego, Madison, and Green Bay.
I know that people are hurting, and that's just not what a president should be doing.
Thousands turned out across the country at more than 3,100 rallies across the U.S. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
To the Iran war, thousands of U.S. troops are now in the region, with President Trump setting his sights on oil in Iran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio this morning talking to ABC News about the latest developments.
This Iran that you're seeing now, this is Iran at its weakest point. Imagine them 2 years from now if they had thousands of more missiles, thousands of more missile launchers and factories to make even more. That was an unacceptable risk. It needed to be addressed, and President Trump is addressing it.
Meanwhile, Pakistan says it's ready to roll out the welcome mat for talks between the U.S. and its neighbors in Iran.
TSA disruptions continue this morning, affecting airports across the country after Congress failed to strike a deal to end the partial government shutdown. Jason Allen from CBS News reporting from Houston.
Last week, President Trump said he was signing an executive order directing new DHS Secretary Markwayne Mullin to pay TSA. But for many officers, the damage has been done. Tanya Fowler is one of more than 500 who quit during the shutdown.
For me, I will never go back to the agency or maybe ever work for the federal government again.
More than 60,000 TSA officers have missed 2 full paychecks since the partial shutdown began.
Stress surrounding air travel is increasing, but there are ways to keep your cool.
Crowded airport checkpoints, the presence of ice, both are adding to the stress of air travel. But there are ways to mitigate that stress.
Having some expectations for what can happen can be helpful.
Northwestern University psychiatrist Dr. Michael Zifra says a good word to keep in mind is acceptance.
To know when to let things go.
And above all, avoid negative feelings.
Artificially put yourself in a better mood, even if you may not be in a good mood at that very moment.
Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson's Year of Housing initiative will be a big focus of his State of the City address tonight. He tells WTMJ the goal is to expand affordable housing across the city.
I'm excited about talking about and informing the public in a greater sense about how these things will continue to help Milwaukee to change and evolve and lower costs for folks. So those are the things that are really, really exciting to me. We've been doing some really, really great work, myself, in collaboration with the City Council, and I'm looking forward to sharing those things.
That full State of the City address tonight at 5:30. Coming up, Finding Love on the Road. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:05.
Sponsored by Redo Cabinets. Don't replace, reface.
At Redo Cabinets, we know the kitchen is the heart of the home. It's the place that design and function matter most. Mark Olson here. Redo Cabinets wants to transform your kitchen into your vision without the mess, the stress, or the cost of a full kitchen remodel with cabinet refacing. During our spring sales event, learn all about refacing, premium cabinet products, and plenty of options for color, hardware, style, and accessories. And now get a free premium countertop with every refacing project, or payments that start as low as $195 a month. Call today and book a free, no-obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us at redocabinets.com. That's redocabinets.com. Serving homeowners for over 70 years in Illinois and Wisconsin. Don't replace, reface with Redo Cabinets.
Spice up your workday at the original Botanas on 5th Street. Enjoy a flavorful and affordable lunch, including authentic Mexican favorites, seafood and vegetarian dishes, and fish fry every day. Enjoy a free cup of soup with every meal. Mi casa es su casa at Botanas.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 8:07.
A long vacant warehouse in Kenosha getting new life thanks to a $72 million investment. The property will become the U.S. headquarters for Kidali, a battery parts manufacturer, expanding Wisconsin's footprint in the EV industry. Milwaukee Business Journal editor-in-chief Tim Gibbons on WTMJ.
All of the smart people I talk to say that EVs really are going to be the future. The technology is getting better, the range is getting better. Tesla's rolling out a semi-truck that's electrical powered, and truck drivers are so far ecstatic about it. So EVs very much are the wave of the future, and they're basically seeing this as a way of making sure that they are prepared for that future.
And Gibbons says it's clear Wisconsin is becoming part of that EV revolution.
NASA says it's ready to send 4 astronauts on a journey around the moon, marking a major step in a new era of space exploration. CBS's Mark Strassman reports from the Kennedy Space Center.
NASA's hoping to lift off on Wednesday, the start of a 6-day launch window. Artemis 2's crew will orbit the Earth twice on their first day, then head off for the moon. They won't land on it. They'll fly around its far side, pushing farther from Earth than humans ever have, about 253,000 miles, before looping back to Earth.
The mission will launch from the same pad used during the historic Apollo program.
Love is a winding road, as they say. And for one newly married couple, that road began at stop in the Smoky Mountains.
Bob Hespin and Melanie Curtis, both from Illinois, both love road trips. They also love the Smoky Mountains. So when Bob proposed to Melanie and they were thinking of where to tie the knot, he suggested the Buc-ee's truck stop in Sevierville, Tennessee, where they often stopped on their trips. To his surprise, she thought it was a great idea. They found an officiant online, and on Sunday, March 29th, the couple, dressed in their wedding finest, gathered at the statue of Bucky the Beaver in the parking lot and got married. The ceremony took all of 3 minutes. Customers waved and congratulated them as they got their gas and went in to use the restroom. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
I mean, maybe not the invited guest list you were planning on, but yeah. Hey, how about that?
To each their own.
There really is everything at Buc-ee's. Now, apparently, there are weddings. 8:09 on Wisconsin's Morning News. News is sponsored by Appliance Gallery, your Milwaukee luxury appliance store. ApplianceGalleryWI.com.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor or designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWI.com or stop in today.
From the post-game to the morning show, there's no rest for baseball for Dominic Cotroneo. Our Brewers 360 guest every Monday at 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I mean, the marathon can begin now, right? We're ready. Spring training, everyone's here. I've got a fresh tan, and we're ready to start the real season in the cold.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Cannon and Dunphy, and Ridgetop Exteriors.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life. At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work. Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. Search AXIS Legal today.
It's not a bad time to better insulate your home, but there is a better time, and it's right now. Now, why would that be? Vince Vitrano here just talked with Jeff at USA Insulation, and Jeff told me they get really busy every year in the fall and early winter. Everybody's concerned about keeping the heat in during the winter, which is great, but blow-in, bat insulation, or the proprietary injection foam from USA Insulation. It does just as well keeping your home cooler in the summer months. Helps you save on your electric bills. And there's room for your project now. Tell Jeff Vinny told you that you want those government rebates and discounts as well that can save you thousands of dollars on your project. Get started now at usainsulation.net. Time saver traffic here with Debbie.
Okay, we've got eastbound 94 still backing up a bit from about Hawley Road all the way through to 35th. Westbound about the same, 35th Street past Mitchell Boulevard. Northbound 41 heavy from just before Mayfair Road up to Burleigh. We've also got northbound 4394 coming out of the Plainfield curve. Going to be a bit slow all the way up past Oklahoma Avenue. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Your Storm Team forecast will be looking for a high of 75 degrees today if you're away from Lake Michigan. About 10 degrees cooler lakeside under mostly sunny skies. Now, tonight we have a chance for rain and storms, low of 44. For Tuesday, another warm day with a chance of storms and a high of 65. Milwaukee temps at 51.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Now, here are your hosts, Vince Petrano and Michelle Richards.
This Monday morning. Yes, Michelle in for Eric today and tomorrow. Good to have you here, Michelle.
Thank you.
So I was talking to a friend the other day who is between jobs, and she was telling me it is tough out there. New York Times reporting this headline: young graduates face the grimmest job market in years. Well, we've got help for you if you're looking, if you'd like to be looking, or if you need help making that current job work better for you. We are at the office.
I am going to have to fix you.
What would you say you do here?
It's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care.
That's just a straight shooter with upper management written all over him.
Manage you to on a more personal scale, a more micro form of management.
Joined now by career coach and business consultant, president and managing partner at LAK Group in Brookfield, Mike Grubich. Morning, Mike.
Good morning.
So before we get into the job search, I don't know, I'm reading a number of these articles, Mike, and a lot of research and polling, and it seems everybody is miserable at work. Gallup poll showing only 31% of U.S. employees are actively engaged at work. You use that term engaged all the time. What does it mean, and why is it a problem if people aren't engaged?
The biggest thing with engagement is the commitment. You know, are they someone who's going to give 100% every day? Those who are not engaged, they punch in, they punch out. They do the minimum. They don't go above and beyond. Those who are actively engaged always take that next step. They're doing extra work.
So this is why management is looking at this saying, who's really into their job? Who can I count on? Who can I maybe promote? And who's just showing up?
Yeah. In addition to that, Vince, those who are actively engaged, they're motivating others around them. They're having influence on the brand of the company. They're promoting the company outside of work. They're an ambassador to the company versus just filling out a spreadsheet.
Right. Okay. So that's a sign with so few people actively engaged that things aren't right in the workplace. So I mentioned the difficult market. Is that why we're seeing people who are staying in jobs that maybe don't fulfill them, but because it's tough out there, they feel stuck?
It's a little bit of that. It's a little bit that there's not as many jobs out there. That's really not accurate. There's tons of jobs available, but people are they're nervous about moving because they don't know what to expect, right? Okay. They don't know if the job is going to be steady. They don't know if it's stable enough. That security element, going back to our Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that security piece is kind of kicking in for a lot of people right now.
Mike Grubich is with us from LAK Group. Okay, so that's real. You're not happy at work, but you got to feed your family, and it's tough to get hired somewhere else, or you have that anxiety that you mentioned. So let's say there's somebody there who wants to do something about that to improve their outlook or their situation. Let's go current job first.
So the first thing you want to do is, even if you're in your job, if I'm answering your question right here, even if you're in a job that you don't feel is exactly what you need, you still got to perform in it, right? You gotta put all the effort in, continue to perform. People are watching. Companies are going to ask about how you did in the other job. They're going to be able to tell. So keep performing in the job that you're in, but then start to leverage your network out there. Try to find opportunities, use people that you know that are in other companies, do the research on companies out there that you hear a lot of positive things about, and start to get your name out there. You got to be really active and market yourself.
Do you think that AI is helping or hurting with worker engagement? I'm personally noticing it a lot at my job. Like, we're encouraged to use AI. Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I think overall it's a good thing. And why I think that is because it's another tool that can help you do your job better, right? So if you embrace it and use it to help you perform and improve your ability to be successful in your role, it's a good thing. I don't think AI is going to replace people. I really don't. Certainly there's going to be robots that can call balls and strikes in baseball and things like that. There are things that it's going to impact, but it's a tool, it's technology to embrace and help you do your job more effectively.
Mike, and Mike's a partner here, LAK Group, and sometimes you hear me talking about the assessments.
Yes.
And assessment solutions, things that they can do. How are companies, and how are you advising companies to use these tools both to work with the workforce that they have and the workforce that they would like?
Yeah. Assessments are a really good way of getting data about how a person is going to show up in different situations. Now, you have to be on the employer side, you have to make sure it's a very validated and predictive assessment. I caution assessments that use labels, because labels put people in a box. You know, if I'm a maverick, what does that really mean? And you start to, it really does reduce your flexibility and adaptability in the people that you bring in. That being said, assessments are great at telling you a little bit about how a person's going to show up in different situations, and they can be very predictive of success. On the candidate side, when you take these, don't try to game or trick them. Just answer them. Answer the question, what first comes to mind. Just be true to yourself, because assessments you're the one answering the questions. They're going to tell you about yourself because you're answering the question. So be honest. Answer them right away. Don't overthink it. Just it's really that simple.
I definitely overthink those assessments.
Have you taken one?
I have.
So Mike gave Eric and me one to take as well, and we went through the thing.
The Arts Alexis assessment. Yep.
Yeah, I learned a lot about myself. It wasn't that I discovered new things, Mike, but I did find it very accurate. And when it broke it down for me, well, you're like this and you're like that, and this is good for you, I thought it actually checks out.
Yeah, and again with assessments, it's who you are, right? It is. You should never use assessments as a in or out, right? It's another data point. You got to look at past job experience. You got to look at how the person engages in the interview. You got to look at the assessment data. You bring all those things together, and it's going to help you make a better decision. Assessments, it reduces the variation in your hiring decisions. It gives you more data to make a better decision.
For those folks who are thinking, all right, and we talked a little bit about becoming more engaged in your current job, but best piece of advice, somebody said, Mike, I'm just not happy. I am trying still hard at work, but I want to get out there. I want to start looking. Outside of leveraging your network, as you suggest, are there specific tools or procedures that people should do when how do you look for a job today?
Yeah, the first thing you want to do, don't be afraid to get help. Reach out to us at LAK. That's one of the things we do. Or a friend or a family member, talk to someone. Don't just make this decision. Don't just internalize it. Second, step back and really assess what is it that you're passionate about. Mm-hmm. What gets you geeked out and you love to do, and then start to look for those kind of things. If you're going to work in some way, most of us are going to work for 50 years. So do something that you like, for crying out loud. Don't do something that you hate. That's what joy is that? Life's too short.
Well, speaking of assessments, so one big accounting firm exec says he always runs job candidates through the coffee cup test. What that is, how you can pass it, and whether it's meant to reveal anything really about you. That is coming up next with Mike Grubich here on Wisconsin's Morning News. You heard of the coffee cup test, Deb?
No.
Okay. but you'll find. I
want to find out what it is.
You'll find it interesting. So
Okay,
we'll do that
cool.
next. First, the roads.
All right. Eastbound on National Avenue, right about at Brewers Boulevard, we've got the right lane blocked with an incident, so just watch out for that. Onto the freeway, though, eastbound 94 slowing down from 60th Street all the way through to 35th. We got the westbound side backing up out of the stadium interchange towards Hawley as well. Northbound 41 backing up from Mayfair Road up past Burleigh. We've got northbound 4394 slowing from Howard Avenue up past Oklahoma Avenue. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. If you're trying to work, juggle life, and keep your dog happy at the same time, look, I get it. We're the same way. Thankfully, we found the Hounds and Tap for doggy daycare for our Greyhound Knight. It's been a game changer for us. He gets exercise, time to socialize with other dogs. We know Knight's in great hands at the Hounds and Tap. They even take care of his grooming during his visits or separate appointments. That's perfect for us. If you're like us and searching for top-tier services and a team you can trust, get connected at thehoundsandtap.com.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. My family is right at home at Racine Country Club, where you can experience premier golf on this historic championship course. It's set across more than 200 acres of rolling terrain, just a beautiful old property with amazing updates, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Sharpen your game. You can do that year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Was just out there the other day. Really cool environment. Relax and hit balls, hang out with friends. Simulator games have all different kinds, not just golf. So if your kids want to do something else while you're hitting golf balls, that's great. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you can enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. So come join me out there at Racine Country Club this summer. To learn more, visit racinecountryclub.com.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. As the days get longer and Wisconsin weather shifts, it's a good time to check your home's comfort. If your house felt drafty this winter, it may be time for an upgrade. Hometown offers energy-efficient windows and doors from Bella, Marvin, Anderson, and more. All on display in their New Berlin showroom, all installed by Hometown employee carpenters. Wood, vinyl, or Fibrex, they have options for every budget. Call my friends today at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. It's vacation season, and you may be out with your family and friends. Maybe you're on a plane or in a car. And the last thing you want to deal with is joint pain. You're at the end of your rope with that knee pain, or your hips, or the shoulder, maybe the back. It keeps you up at night, and now it may keep you from enjoying a trip to the beach. There's got to be another way, and there is. QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics and its regenerative treatments can help you and do it without surgery and without long recoveries. It's time to get relief. Call QC Kinetics and set yourself up a free appointment. They have a clinic in Mequon. They have another one in Greenfield. The treatments are super easy, done right there in the office, and then you can go on about your day. Here's the number, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Call today and get your life back. 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Call QC Kinetics today.
When you think about your financial future, it helps to have fee-only fiduciary guidance that puts your interests first. At Annex Wealth Management, you receive comprehensive planning from a team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, and investment specialists working together to support your financial life. Annex's advice is designed to stay aligned with your goals without commissions influencing recommendations. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Top quality snow removal in winter is now adding beautiful green lawns in summer. One name that does it all. Winter Services is now Groundmasters, offering year-round commercial outdoor property management. See all their commercial services at groundmasters.com.
Debbie's Traffic earlier brought to you by Groundmasters. See all their commercial services at groundmasters.com. Talking with Mike Grubich, career coach and local business consultant from our partners at LAK Group. All right, got a good one for you, Mike. Every hiring manager has personal discretion to some degree, right? And some may allow their personal pet peeves or maybe just their ideas about what makes a good employee enter into those hiring decisions. Article in Fortune magazine about an Australian financial sector guy who says he always does the coffee cup test on projects. So here's what it is. Gets them a cup of coffee. They sit down, they do the interview or what have you. And then when it's time to leave the room, he watches to see if the job prospect grabs their coffee cup and takes it back to the kitchen. Did you clear your place? Something you tell your kids to do all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he never hires anybody that doesn't take care of their own dishes on that first meeting.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I actually encourage those kind of things, right? If it's something that I read the article and I've heard of these, there's a number of different ones out there, and it's a cultural test, right? Is this person going to be a fit for the culture of the organization or the function that I'm in? And if you're doing it for that reason, by all means do that. To be completely honest, I've done that in my past. It's kind of the receptionist test is what it's called, right? And how do they treat the person that when they came into the building before they met with anyone for the interview? And this person was just arrogant and just not nice to that reception person. And this person calls me every once in a while to this day asking if I'll be a reference, and I won't do it because I'm like, that person is not going to be a good fit. I won't use my reputation to support that person. So that's very common. And I actually encourage companies to be more thoughtful of that. Think about things that are going to be a test that you can put on a person to see, are they going to really fit in your culture? There are companies that do it around legacy. So, especially family companies or long history companies, they want to test to see, is that person going to respect the legacy before they come in and just start changing everything? There's the BCL test, breakfast, coffee, lunch test. You take the person out. How do they treat the server? How do they behave during that? And you got to be careful, right? Because if the person drops the fork, it's like, oh, I'm not hiring Mike. He dropped the fork. How bad was that?
Yeah.
It has to be realistic, but there's a lot of different ways companies do that.
And just to make sure that you're a decent human being.
Right. Yeah, it's good. It's good for that. And people show up and they present themselves in an interview, and sometimes, believe it or not, they may not be completely honest with how they really act on a day-to-day basis. So if there's ways you can get that, we talked about assessments earlier, that can give you some data, but how they show up in little tests, there's a scheduling ambiguity test that people do, and they'll throw a little wrinkle into the schedule and they see how a person reacts to that. And there's all kinds of different ones. There's a listening test. People will say a couple of things in the interview and they'll ask a question later. And did that person remember it, right? Do they recall it? Are they really listening, or are they just there to promote themselves? So these are very common with organizations.
I wonder if you'll cringe at this, because I think it's hard to do on a macro scale, certainly if you are a big publicly traded company. But I had a friend who ran his own business, and it was a larger company, but it was just his business. So he got to do business however he wanted. Right? And he said, I never hire anyone I don't like. And that was his thing of, this person they might have a great reputation. They might be an okay person, but if I don't like this guy or gal, I don't really want to work with them that much, and I'm just not going to bother.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's it, as long as it's targeting some kind of behavior, I think that's okay, right? It's like, hey, this guy's a Bears fan, this guy's a Packer fan. I'm not going to hire them because I don't like them.
I don't know.
Companies have to be they have to be careful that it's not a gotcha thing, and you have to be careful too that it is behavioral and cultural based, right? If everyone says, hey, I'm going to hire everyone that looks like Greg and Vince because they're these dashing young gentlemen.
We're good-looking guys.
That could get you into problems if you're not,
Understood.
Probably more.
Yes.
But you just got to be, it's got to be a tactic that is a behavior that links to culture, and I think that's going to be okay.
Mike Grubich from LAK Group, business consultant and career coach. You can check out anything that Mike and his team do at lakgroup.com or transformingcareers.com. Many different ways to see on the
all
web,
kinds
Mike.
of ways. Yes, absolutely.
Thanks so much. Always good advice.
Thanks for having
coming
me.
up on 8:30 here on Wisconsin's Morning News. Finding the right talent is not just tough, it's critical. In a world shaped by rapid change, AI, and evolving skills, you need people who are ready to adapt and lead. Vince Vitrano for LAK Group, experts in recruiting across your organization, finding top candidates, assessing their skills, culture fit, and ability to thrive in the workplace of tomorrow. LAK Group does not fill positions. They build high-performing teams, engaged, future-ready, and equipped to navigate what's next. LAKgroup.com.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources, help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need, they help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
Skylight Music Theater presents A Rockin' Midsummer Night's Dream. Shakespeare's classic story meets an original genre-spanning score in this modern rock and roll musical full of humor, heart, and theatrical mischief. Join me, Sandy Max, for a special Max-experience on April 15th. We will begin having drinks in the Skylight Bar at 6:30 p.m., followed by the performance at 7:30. Purchase tickets for April 15th at skylightmusictheater.org to join me and use promo code SANDY15 for 15% off your ticket. See you there.
A new deck from Outdoor Living Unlimited is built to last. We are Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck installation team. For amazing ideas, go to Outdoor Living Unlimited's Instagram page. For a free estimate, go to OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Trump this morning threatening to attack Iran's power plants, oil wells, and desalinization plants unless there's a ceasefire agreement and the Strait of Hormuz is opened shortly. But he also said there's been great progress made on talks with Iran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio speaking to ABC News this morning.
The president has a number of options available to him if he so chooses to prevent that from happening. Obviously, I'm not going to discuss what those options are, and we're not going to discuss military tactics. The Department of War would be in charge of those things. I'd refer you to them, but obviously they're not going to discuss it with you either. But there is a way forward here to achieve our objectives.
TSA workers supposed to start being paid today for the first time in weeks under orders from President Trump last week, but the rest of DHS is still going unpaid. An art heist in northern Italy where thieves hit a museum and took 3 works worth about $8 million, and they did it in less than 3 minutes. This is ABC News.
Well, we're looking at some delays eastbound on 94 as you're making your way in from about 76th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. We've also got some backups as you're making your way towards westbound side from about 25th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange as well. Backups on southbound 41 are looking pretty good, but the northbound side, we've got the backups basically heading up to Burleigh from about Mayfair Road. So that's going to be something that you want to keep in mind if you're heading through there. The rest of the bypass, westbound and north and southbound, looking all pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ forecast brought to you by Big Fish Contracting. Visit bigfishcontracting.com to see how they're renovating homes and redeeming an industry. Tune into today's Brewers pregame show for the Big Fish roof update. High of 75 degrees. 65 if you're by the lake for the high temp today under mostly sunny skies. Chance of rain and storms tonight, low of 44. Right now at 51, and from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the trial for the man accused of killing Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corridor is set to begin today. 23-year-old Tremaine Jones facing charges including first-degree intentional homicide and attempted homicide in connection with the shooting last summer. Prosecutors say Jones ambushed Officer Corridor and his partner, Officer Christopher McRae, who was injured. He could get life in prison if convicted.
Governor Tony Evers signed more than a dozen bills into law last week, but at the same time, he broke out his veto pen.
One would have required the WIAA to follow open record laws, and another would have let employees consider non-criminal charges when hiring or firing. Evers says the measures could undermine the presumption of innocence. He also says the WIAA already shares enough information, and fans should still have access to results and schedules. He also blocked bills that would have required new school referendum approvals and imposed harsher drug sentences near homeless shelters. He signed bills expanding mental health evaluations and defining anti-Semitism for discrimination claims. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Two Milwaukee suburbs providing more information about their fire department merger.
West Allis and Wauwatosa put out a video on social media titled A Fire Tale of Two Cities, offering residents a behind-the-scenes look at the creation of the newly formed Milwaukee Metro Fire Rescue.
Each community will be receiving $4.7 and $4.8 million for the next 5 years. While the grant is not required to create the newly formed Milwaukee Metro Fire and Rescue, it does provide massive savings for both communities.
Both cities say the merger was needed due to ongoing budget challenges. Operations will begin next month. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. We're about 7 minutes off the opening bell, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average bouncing back. It's up 325 points to 45,492. The S&P 500 at 6404. That's up 36 points, and the NASDAQ on the rise as well, up about 90 points to 21,037. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Hey, Easter's almost here. I urge you to take your family to the Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford, the most affordable Easter dining destination. WTMJ's John Merck here. Do not cook and clean. Enjoy your family and the all-you-can-eat Mind Chef Easter brunch. It's every dish you love for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with a huge dessert table. It's gorgeous. It's under $26. You'll pay a lot more elsewhere. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free, and they can safely play in the world-class game room quietly tucked away from the dining area. Sip on a Bloody Mary, an old-fashioned. Enjoy a glass of wine for a perfect Easter brunch. The Mind Chef's Good Friday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is just $8.99. Incredible value. It's delicious. The Mind Chef in beautiful downtown Hartford and near EAA in Oshkosh. Lots of seating, close parking. Google, call, reserve your table today. It's big food. It's big fun. Don't cook and clean this Easter. Don't do it. Let the Mind Chef serve you. It is the amazing Mine Shaft.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at accunet.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or your local CVS.
Hey, remember when your basement was just for storage? WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. With Matrix Basement Finishing, they turn that empty space into the heart of your home. It's what they did for us. Whether it's a cozy family movie night or cheering on your favorite team during the best time of the year to watch sports. From the design consultation to picking out your perfect flooring and fixtures, the process is seamless and done at your home. Get the quality craftsmanship you deserve with no payments until 2028. And visit matrixbasements.com.
You can't beat Berghardt.
Sports lovers love us.
About 20 minutes before 9 o'clock on Wisconsin's Morning News. Michelle Richards in for Eric for a couple of days here.
Great to be here. So we know the term Sephora kids, right? That's a thing that
Yes.
we've heard of. So these are the teens and the preteens who make TikTok videos about their Sephora haul with all the skincare and the makeup that they get. Well, Sephora now under investigation in Italy. The makeup giant is accused of over-marketing adult beauty products to those children, which they say is fueling an obsession with skincare among minors, including some under the age of 10.
So when to wear makeup and how much is an age-old battle between parents and kids, right? But I feel like the skincare thing is newer. Is that accurate?
I would say so. The issue
overall
is
skincare, right? So this this is my
Serum
cleansing thing, and
and-
all that stuff.
Yeah, so that is definitely new, I think. But the problem is that it's just not healthy for these kids. You know, your young skin does not need retinol, anti-aging products. And these kids...
Right, you're 10.
These kids are posting videos about, using face masks and anti-aging creams. And there's actually a term for this, which I hadn't heard of until today. It's called cosmeticorexia, which is an unhealthy fixation with skincare among minors.
And they're seeing that in social media. So some of it might just be young people doing what they do on their socials. Others, they're paid influencers, right?
Right, or micro-influencers.
Yeah.
Like Sephora has more than 20 million Instagram followers, more than 2 million on TikTok. And yes, they're at the center of the social media trend, which continues to this day. Now, my kids are in the age group of Sephora kids, but I feel like they're more with the perfumes and the scents.
Okay.
So they've got all their Sol de Janeiro products and different
I can get behind that.
fragrances.
I mean, there's some parents who are just battling with their kids to take a shower.
Right.
Right. So as long as we're all
Use
smelling
deodorant.
nice, we'll take it. 842. Debbie's got to look at the roads.
All right. Well, westbound on 94, just a little bit backed up right past Hawley Road. We do have an incident off on the right shoulder, right about at the ramp from 70th Street. So that's something to keep in mind. We also have some delays along eastbound 94 from just before Mitchell Boulevard all the way through to 35th Street. Northbound 41, that has some backups from Mayfair Road up past Burleigh. And then southbound 894, just south of the zoo interchange, off on the left shoulder. Looks like we have another incident. And since it's in the left shoulder, it's kind of in a weird spot as you're coming out of the zoo interchange. Just be extra careful. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Scratch this off your bucket list. Vince Vitrano here. Travel by luxury motor coach to Mount Rushmore this spring. This trip's coming up fast. It's from the western charm of Deadwood. The legendary Wall Drug are a part of your stops. Even a Royal River Casino tour and stop. All the while keeping your eyes open when you're on the road. Actually, traveling is really fun. You're on scenic mountain roads looking for buffalo, antelope, elk, bighorn sheep. And because KB Excursions is doing the driving, all you got to do is get on board and enjoy. This trip is 5 nights, 6 days, includes meals, lodging at all the best places, and gratuities, so much more as well. The trip is booking now for the end of May. Let KB Excursions be your ride and your guide. Sign up now to head west at kbexcursions.com.
Jessica Ty here for Steinhoffels. You know how important good sleep is, but finding the right mattress, that can feel overwhelming. That's why I love that Steinhoffels has all the best brands and mattresses, plus their exclusive Discover Your Sleep system. It uses innovative technology that allows our sleep experts to pinpoint the mattress that's perfect for you based on how you actually sleep. No guesswork, just better rest. And with free delivery and Steinhoffels' 120-night sleep guarantee, you'll feel confident you made the right call. Head to Steinhoffels in-store or visit steinhoffels.com today.
Hi, I'm Jane. Before moving to Capri Communities, my daughter spent more time helping me with chores than enjoying our visits. Now she comes over and we can go to concerts, we enjoy delicious meals, and participate in activities that are always happening. I choose senior living so that our time together can be more about fun than fixing things. And I love the freedom it gives me every day.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at capricommunities.com.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Potawatomi Sportsbook and Ridgetop.
Here's the 2-2 pitch.
Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone! Christian Yelich, a 3-run blast. And the Brewers have come all the way back in the 8th inning.
Wayne Grindle on the call here on 620 WTMJ as the Brewers complete a sweep of the Chicago White Sox to open the season. Brewers Extra Innings host and extraordinaire Dominic Cotroneo in the house with us this morning, live and in person, Dom.
Good morning, good morning.
So we're Foghorn team guys.
I think
guess
it's been happening a couple of years now. I mean,
like that.
I tell you what, you could barely hear it underneath the crowd on that Yelly home run yesterday. I mean, the atmosphere of it all. You know, obviously a brutal start to that game, down 7-2 at one point. They slowly chip away, but Yelly wasn't in the lineup because there was a lefty on the mound. They wanted to give him a day, and there's such a lefty-heavy team, and then the needle drop of hearing Andre Nicotina, his walk-up song, just the roar from the crowd to understand here's the moment, because he didn't come out on deck. He came straight from the dugout, and then here we go, Sir Anthony Dominguez versus Christian Yelich, and that ball still hasn't landed.
Hey, what a dramatic way to win that game. Looked like 30-plus thousand for a Sunday afternoon, first one to start the season. A couple things I want to break down with that, and then we'll look ahead to the Rays tonight. First of all, I was talking with Tausch about this earlier, just from an athlete's perspective. You win a ball game like that, it is so much more in the aggregate than just that one win out of 162, right? It reinforces everything Murph has been saying as manager for the last number of years. We're the woodpeckers. We peck away. We're never out of a game. But when you have evidence of you doing that, that really helps.
And you look at last year, remember the quote in the middle of May was, we're still looking for our edge, when they were in that kind of like stuck in the middle 500 team coming out of that Pittsburgh series when they really started to get going. And then, of course, the Memorial Day week, that first 8-game winning streak is when they finally got going. Well, you can already say on your third game of the year, you have a signature win that you can always call upon to say, hey, that's the exact same team we saw last August. That just felt like they were never out of the game, always have a chance to win. That's why I think it's so important to remember that so much of this team, I know we can all freak out about trades and this one. So much of this team is the same from last year. So much of it that saw this firsthand, knowing, we're never out of a game. And the Brewers have the talent top to bottom, even on the IL right now, that are able to handle it.
New guy, Brandon Sproat, tough first start for him on the hill. Murph had a first inning mound visit. Mm-hmm. Went out there and talked to his young guy. What do you imagine he said, or I don't know if he talked about it post-game, what he shared with him?
He kept it between him and Sproat, but the thing that I take away from Sproat's outing is it was all Sproat, and I mean that in a way that it's fixable. I mean that in a way that, like, it wasn't like he was getting beat with his best stuff, or he was, dotting on the corners and they're hitting homers, or it wasn't like he was tossing up meatballs. Okay, don't do that. And he was throwing uncompetitive pitches, completely missing the zone, easy takes. There was nothing deceptive about what Brandon Sproat was doing. And it's a reminder, it was his 5th big league start. And by the way, his catcher, his first big league start. There was a lot of wide eyes for both of them in this environment on opening weekend. I still believe this dude is going to be a stud. Just remember how Quinn Priester started his Brewers career last year, and look how that turned out.
Dom Cotroneo is with us here on Brewers 360. Let's look ahead to tonight. We got a 3-game set with the Tampa Bay Rays and another new guy, Kyle Harrison, on the hill for the Crew. This is another one of these guys that was a highly touted prospect, right? Mm-hmm. Had a couple of teams he's been with. We got him from Boston, yeah?
Yes.
What do we know?
So the timeline goes, he was a top 100 prospect with the Giants for years. He's actually a Bay Area kid and comes up with the Giants in 2023. Dazzles, everyone's really excited, but the Giants were kind of irrelevant in 2023. 2024, there's a managerial change. He had 3 different managers in his time in his last 3 years in the show. 2024 is kind of up and down. 25, he gets moved to the bullpen. Quite frankly, I think that's malpractice by the Giants to move this talent into the bullpen. But then he gets...
That's going to mess with a guy's head,
exactly.
Right? Especially when he's young.
And then he gets traded to the Boston Red Sox in the biggest trade last year with Rafi Devers going from Boston to San Francisco and gets sent to AAA. And it's just like, it's his head's on just a swivel. And then finally... You get the call the week before spring training. You're getting traded again, but this time coming to an organization that really understands pitching, really wants you because they needed a left-handed starter. And for Harrison to come along with Shane Drowan, 2 lefties in that deal with David Hamilton, by the way, your opening day third baseman, you've got 2 guys in the big leagues out of that deal, in the Caleb Durbin, Andrew Monasterio, Anthony Siegler deal, that are already going to be impacting games in the early portion of this season.
On the offensive side, Dom, we've scored 29 runs in 3 games.
That's a lot.
That's not bad, and we don't have Jackson Churio, and we don't have Andrew Vaughn, both out with injuries. Is that more us, or is it more White Sox have not fielded a terribly competitive team? Little of both.
Little of both.
Still got to hit the ball.
I mean, a little of both. The stat that blew my mind yesterday was the fact that the White Sox haven't won in Milwaukee since pitchers could hit, like since 2021. Right. So it's been a minute. But the way I see it, The midday news or afternoon news talked about this with me, Adam and Julia. We're saying, like, do the White Sox actually stay? I don't think they're that bad. Like, I know the Brewers, like, outclassed them in virtually every facet of the game this weekend, but I believe what Pat Murphy said of saying, this team's not that far off. Give them some time. Murata Murakami, wow, what a debut for him stateside. I think Chase Mydroth is a dude. Colson Montgomery, grand slam. He's going to be a dude again. He had very quietly 20-plus homers in only like 3 months last year for the White Sox. I think that their pitching and their bullpen is where they're lacking right now. Shane Smith, a former Brewers prospect, that beat up on him on Thursday. And you look at the rest of this rotation, there's just a lot of like, all right, let's see you prove it, because they're going to be given the runway to try and prove it. I don't think the White Sox are that bad, but no, they're not going to any illusions of playoff potential for them this year.
Host of Brewers Extra Innings, Dom Catronio, in the house with us this morning. It's a 6:40 first pitch, 6:05 pregame here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ. Thanks, Dom.
Thank you.
One more time before we go here, Deb, at 9 o'clock.
Just a little bit of a backup eastbound 94 from about Hawley Road to about 35th Street. Westbound 94 is backing up just a little bit right in the stadium interchange itself. We've also got a little heavy ride northbound on 41 between North Avenue and Burleigh. The rest of the system is looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
This is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Your home should be the one place that you feel completely comfortable and safe, but old, drafty windows can steal that feeling. At Ridgetop Exteriors, we bring that peace of mind back. As Wisconsin's leading Pella Premier contractor, we install beautiful, secure windows and doors that can save you up to 40% on your energy bills. Get a home full of new Pella windows for as low as $198 a month. Learn more at ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Hey fans, John Kuhn here, team captain of the Ottawatomie Sportsbook, and there's a reason it's considered the Midwest premier place to bet on all your favorite sports. The full bar, awesome dining, 2,000 square foot screen, and nearly 100 betting kiosks makes for an unbeatable playbook. Bet above the rest, only at Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, and they offer early memory loss classes to help you. They specialize in this area. It's kindness at the core, locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. It's compassion, it's empathy. It's Wisconsin-based and family-owned, always welcoming people to come tour and welcome their new residents. I've seen their places. They're top-notch. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
WTMJ 5-day forecast is sponsored by Big Fish Contracting. Visit bigfishcontracting.com to see how they're renovating homes and redeeming an industry. Tune into today's Brewers pregame show for the Big Fish roof update. Yeah, Brewers and Rays tonight, 6:40 first pitch, and look at this forecast. A high of 75 degrees today under mostly sunny skies. Lakeside high of 65. Here's the problem as we talk about the roof update, Michelle. I don't know what you do if you're the Brewers. First of all, you have a chance of rain and storms this evening. Not quite sure on the timing on that. On top of that, the expectation is that you're going to be entirely comfortable in the ballpark. So if those temperatures start to dip late, you don't want to close the roof and then turn the heat on. I didn't see, because I don't drive by in the morning, I guess I forgot to look if the roof, if they opened it up overnight or if it stayed closed and they kept the heat in from the weekend.
Yeah, it was already pretty nice this morning.
Yeah.
Like upper 40s, 50 almost.
In the county stadium days, we certainly would not have complained about a forecast like we see today, but can't tell you. So you'll have to tune in for the Big Fish roof update today during the pregame show. For the rest of the week, kind of some interesting weather ahead. Low 44 tonight, and then Tuesday we have warm with a chance of storms and a high of 65. Then Wednesday the bottom drops out with a high of just 40 degrees. Skies mostly cloudy and a chance in the afternoon and evening hours of a rain-snow mix. I mean, come on. I don't need it to be 75 today. That's fine. That's way above normal, but I need it to be not 40 with snow.
Let's focus on the word chance.
Chance? You're going to stick with the chance? You see, Copleen just sent this. WTMJ meteorologist Craig Copleen just sent an email. 8:19 is the timestamp on this one. So he's got thunderstorms possible this evening and early tonight. Threat isn't terribly high, but if storms do develop, some could produce large hail. And then Craig's got thunderstorms likely Tuesday, mainly in the afternoon. And then, he's still got that rain and or snow, especially in the afternoon on Wednesday. So spring is here and there. And then we revert to a day or two of winter-ish.
I feel like this is spring, though, right? Like you just can get anything.
This is our spring, right? It's Wisconsin spring. In large part, not too bad over the weekend. 8:57, we got the business headlines up next here, and then top of the hour news on Wisconsin's Morning News.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
4 months after Wisconsin-based buyers acquire Milwaukee Forge out of receivership, a union leader there says production levels are running low. On the other hand, the new CEO says millions of dollars of orders are booked and the operation is on track for improvement. Kadali America acquires an industrial facility in Mount Pleasant for $25 million. The Chinese company plans to manufacture battery parts there for electric vehicles. Milwaukee-based Sensient Technologies Food Colors Division plans a major expansion in St. Louis. The $250 million project expected to add over 200 jobs in the Gateway City. I'm Rich Kirchen with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
In Heartland, you're going to find a focus on distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original artwork, along with tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. In Pewaukee, the focus is on kitchen, outdoor, and garden decor, and all of it is priced at 25 to 40% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value.
Design Exchange.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi.
And Kristen Bry of Point Taken.
Kristen, did you know that only 40% of Americans have done any estate planning and only 40% of those have been properly updated?
When it comes to wills, trusts, and probate, there's a lot at stake. I needed someone who specializes in estate planning. At Walney Legal Group, that's all they do.
No intimidating lawyers. They just provide customized, friendly, easy experience. They call it lawyering the way it should be. So whether you need your estate planning reviewed
or just getting started, visit WALNYlegal.com.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. As the days get longer and Wisconsin weather shifts, it's a good time to check your home's comfort. If your house felt drafty this winter, it may be time for an upgrade. Hometown offers energy-efficient windows and doors from Bella, Marvin, Anderson, and more. All on display in their New Berlin showroom, all installed by Hometown employee carpenters. Wood, vinyl, or Fibrex, they have options for every budget. Call my friends today at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Let the rays bring the sunshine. We'll bring the fireworks.
Here's the 2-2 pitch.
Yelich a high drive, deep drive, down the line, fair and gone!
The Brewers look to shut down the Tampa Bay Rays and light up the sky at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
o'clock. I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. It's Monday, March 30th, our top story. A mall takeover in the Milwaukee suburbs.
I'm Michelle Richards, in for Eric Bilstad. Milwaukee's mayor focuses on housing.
Your Storm Team forecast, a high of 75 degrees today, about 10 degrees cooler near the lake, and skies mostly sunny. Now, tonight, a chance of rain and storms, and a low of 44. Right now, Milwaukee's already at 57, and from the WTMJ Breaking News Center. A teen takeover in Glendale. More than a dozen people arrested Sunday afternoon. Hundreds of teenagers were at Bayshore.
748, 736, near Qdoba 510 West Silver Spring. There is a group of juveniles, unknown amounts, that are causing a disturbance. They've been asked to leave by Bayshore Security.
Several fights also broke out.
Two girls arguing. Their groups were getting involved. They've been separated.
Police radio transmissions from Broadcastify. Glendale police did post a reminder from Bayshore just days ago saying anyone under the age of 17 must be accompanied by an adult Fridays through Sundays after 3 p.m.
The U.S. and Iran are reportedly in ceasefire negotiations. It comes as Israel continues with its attacks on the Islamic State. More from News Nation's Laura Ingle.
Israel's military says it dropped more than 80 bombs in overnight strikes in Tehran, targeting Iran's weapons production and research sites. An Israeli airstrike Sunday destroyed Iran's University of Science and Technology. Iran warning it would consider Israeli universities and branches of U.S. universities in the region as legitimate targets unless its own academic institutions were given safety assurances.
Several U.S. universities have campuses scattered throughout the Gulf region.
A Russian tanker carrying sanctions-busting oil has reached Cuba, now apparently with President Trump's consent.
I'm Vicki Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. Russia's transport ministry says a Russian tanker has just docked at a port in Cuba, carrying enough oil, experts say, to keep the lights on for 9 or 10 days. This just hours after President Trump said he had no problem with countries sending humanitarian supplies to the communist-run island. That marked an apparent loosening of the U.S. blockade that's led to crippling island-wide blackouts. The World Health Organization has warned hospitals are struggling to maintain emergency and intensive care services, and multiple doctors have told the New York Times patients are dying as a result. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
We're learning more about a deadly mid-air collision in Washington, D.C. that happened early last year.
Documents show 2 close calls at Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C., shortly before the deadly mid-air collision between an Army helicopter and an American Airlines jet January 29th of last year. Emily Hanoka was working in the control tower at the time. She told CBS's 60 Minutes controllers long worried about safety issues.
You had frontline controllers ringing that bell for years and years saying, this is not safe. This cannot continue. Please change this. And that didn't happen.
67 people were killed in the collision over the Potomac River. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
In the coming months, Wisconsin food share recipients will no longer be able to use their benefits to buy candy or soda.
The Department of Health Services has to develop a waiver that needs approval from the U.S. Department of Agriculture before the ban can be implemented. It comes after Governor Tony Evers signed legislation this month in a compromise with Republican leaders in Madison. The bill also includes about $70 million in additional funding for DHS, plus dozens of new positions. The department says they're working to fill those newly funded jobs. Nearly 700,000 Wisconsinites receive food share benefits. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson will put a big spotlight on housing during his annual State of the City speech.
It doesn't matter what type of housing you're looking for, whether it's rental, whether it's homeownership, whether it's single family, whether it's apartment. We're there in all the spaces, and our partners are too. So Milwaukee's a place, that anybody and everybody can call home regardless of what they're looking for.
The mayor's speech is tonight at 5:30.
Harley-Davidson spending nearly $7 million on its Milwaukee headquarters, bringing more employees back to the office. Now, the investment comes as the company announced cuts to its white-collar workforce, part of a strategy to reshape operations under the new CEO. Milwaukee Business Journal editor-in-chief Tim Gibbons on WTMJ.
The new CEO already stars. He's come in. He's here in Milwaukee. He's bringing workers back to the office, and it's somewhat trying to be a cultural shift sort of thing as they look at what their workforce needs are and what their strategy should be going forward.
Gibbons says workers are coming back, but there will be fewer of those workers overall. Time for news about your money. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. We're about 35 minutes off the opening bell on Wall Street, and the Dow Jones Industrial is climbing up 225 points to 45,392. S&P 500 is at 6385. That's up 16 points. And the NASDAQ up just 5 to 20,953. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 9:06.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Have you ever thought to yourself, I want my house to look better than it does. I just don't know where to even start or even what to do. Tri-County Contracting can help you with that. They can help you love your home again. They have the design consultants, they've got the showroom, they've got real picture renderings, they've got it all to help turn your home back into your dream home. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again with Tri-County Contracting.
More savings for more Club Rewards members. Join today and unlock exclusive deals at your local Tyson's. Every month, members save big on customer favorites and seasonal must-haves, plus earn 1% back on every purchase. This month, enjoy special savings on Country Companion dried mealworms, Misco Greenhouse, Antler King deer attractant blocks, HK Anderson pretzels, and more. Not a member yet? Sign up free at Tysons.com and start saving today. Offers end March 31st, in-store only.
Want to stay up to date with the crew?
Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair and gone!
Tune in to Brewers Extra Innings with Dominic Cotroneo after every game.
Just thought this team was better than last year's team, both on paper and how they performed. I just like what this organization has done with the offseason.
Or listen anytime on the Brewers All Access podcast feed. We are your home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
You can't beat Bernhardt.
Sports lovers love us.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Brewers stay at home for this opening season homestand. We open a 3-game set against the Rays tonight. Solid opening weekend. That went pretty well. Sweeping the White Sox.
Here's the 2-2 pitch.
Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair and gone!
Yeah, Christian Yelich with that 3-run blast to cap a 6-run rally in the 8th, beating the White Sox 9-7 on Sunday. Game 1 against Tampa tonight. We've got coverage beginning just after the 6 o'clock news here on WTMJ. 4 losses in a row for the Bucks. Fell to the LA Clippers 127-113, and with that, officially eliminated from playoff contention, although it feels like that ship sailed quite some time ago. Bucks back home tomorrow night against the Mavericks. Men's college hoops. Final 4 is set, including 2 teams from the Big Ten. Illinois will face UConn, and then Michigan taking on Arizona. Those games Saturday in Indianapolis. Wisconsin men's hockey headed to the Frozen Four after a dramatic 4-3 overtime win against Michigan State in the NCAA tournament. Wisconsin will compete in the Frozen Four for the 13th time in program history, chasing its first hockey championship, at least on the men's side. Of course, the women won already this year. That would be the first championship for Wisconsin in 20 years. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Taking a look at the roads, your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic Update. I just see one trouble spot, and this is in the stadium construction on I-94, and it looks like largely just the eastbound lanes, with things slowing down just before you hit Hawley Road and the construction zone there, so just past Wisconsin State Fair Park. And then the slowdowns continue almost to 27th Street, but loosening up once you get past there and on your way toward downtown. The rest of the system looks pretty good.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly sunny today, a high of 75 inland, 65 if you are lakeside. Tonight, chance of rain and storms, mostly cloudy, a low of 44. Tuesday, warm with a chance of storms, a high of 65. Wednesday, not looking the greatest. Mostly cloudy and cool, a chance of a rain-snow mix in the afternoon and a high of just 40. Thursday, rain likely, windy, a high of 50. And Friday, a slight chance of rain, mostly cloudy and a high of 47.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Now, here are your hosts, Vince Petrano and Michelle Richards.
Greg Pancake Hill producing the program. Eric's out for the week, so Michelle in today, tomorrow. And then I've got Neil Doyle, who's in our newsroom this morning, will join me Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to finish out what is a spring break week for a lot of schools. You got young ones still. Are you on break this week?
We are on break, and they're already bored.
It's Monday, Michelle. Whoa. And there is that. So spring break travel at Milwaukee Mitchell International is expected to peak this weekend. What you have there is a confluence of people returning from this week's travel, and then others still flying out for their week off. If that's next week, kind of depends on your school district and how those spring schedules break out. But Mitchell says we got the coming home and the going out still, and their busiest days should be Friday, Saturday, Sunday of this coming weekend. This morning, signs of easing TSA security wait times, as officers are expecting to see their pay restored, perhaps as early as today. Now, I did not travel personally this weekend. We've had some recent travel in March, but I was deeply invested in that situation.
Hello, this is Ella Vetrano and Caitlin Majeski reporting live for Vincent Vetrano and his social media and his radio show. It is currently, what time is it? It is 1:53 a.m. 1:53 a.m. Our flight out of LaGuardia Airport is at 7 a.m. We board at 6:35.
Okay, nice engagement of the co-host there by Ella. Yeah, really good, solid report. I don't know why I was Vincent.
I love that.
So
start calling you that.
That is New York daughter Ella traveling with one of her friends from school in New York on Saturday. So I mentioned earlier in the week that she had been texting me asking what she should do about TSA, and I'm not even kidding. I told her to take the train.
It is 2:30. We made it to the airport. We are by the conference center. The line wrapped around so far that there are like hundreds of people in front of us.
So as you heard, she got to LGA, LaGuardia, in the middle of the night to get in the line to form the line, which seemed like the smart thing to do. TSA shuts down overnight. We actually explored the possibility, Michelle, of, well, could you go late Friday, go through security and sleep at the gate?
Okay, there's an idea.
Didn't seem like that was possible. Everything that we were reading from LaGuardia is that they shut down this thing, and I don't know if they actually prohibit you, but they definitely discouraged people from doing that, so they may not have been able to do that. Didn't want them to get stuck in that situation. Not like it made that much of a difference. 1:30 in the morning.
What do they do in that? Like, what are you going to do? Get kicked out after you've gone through security?
I guess, right?
At your gate?
So as you heard, they did start progressing. They roll up on LaGuardia on Saturday morning with a 7 a.m. flight, having heard that TSA wait times would be hours. So they get in the queue.
All right, it's 3 a.m. The TSA is open, so we're moving.
We're supposed to be through, according to one of the officer guys, we're supposed to be through by 4:45.
Good report, Caitlin. One of those officer guys, they told us. So the line started moving, and it looked like it moved at a pretty good clip. She sent me video and all of that stuff. I mentioned light at the end of the tunnel. President Trump late Friday, after Congress failed to reach an agreement on funding the Department of Homeland Security and then skipped town for their own spring break, the president signed an order to pay TSA officers. Here's ABC's Olivia Rubin.
President Trump is promising TSA workers will get paid indefinitely, even as the Homeland Security Department remains shut down.
We're going to pay them for as long as we have to.
They've gone more than a month without pay, prompting a record number to call out or quit, leading to those long airport security lines. Lines so long, some travelers hired people to take their place and wait for them.
You got a chuckle out of that this morning.
Well, what do you charge people for that? Like, I'm willing to go to the airport and stand there for you for 4 hours.
You tell me what you charge. 4 hours.
A good hourly rate is what I'm going to charge.
So what is that?
I don't know.
Would you do it for $100?
Think about that.
There was a guy. There was a story earlier last week before like the shutdown seemed that it was going to be over. Now it's not. $1,200 is what he was charging.
Ooh.
That was the going rate for sitting in line.
I like that.
And then what? Does that person communicate out then? Is that guy texting you like, hey,
I
probably
think so. Can you imagine seeing someone cut in front of you in line after waiting for 3 hours? Would you not lose your marbles
This
at
family
that?
of 6 traveling.
Could you imagine? And then also that guy gets handed a $1,200 check and just goes about his merry way.
So that's been going on. I've not seen, and I've tried to keep the corner of my eye on CNN and some of the other Newswire services this morning. I've not seen an indication that officers have actually yet been paid this morning, though it appears the expectation that their month or so of back pay will show up soon is helping to loosen things up already at some of the nation's biggest travel bottlenecks. ABC's Jim Ryan on that this morning.
On what is normally its busiest day of the week, Sunday, TSA lines at the world's busiest airport, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International, were virtually non-existent yesterday, as traveler Marianne Ferraro learned.
And I come up here and it's like a ghost town. I'm thrilled.
It might only have been a fluke, as the My TSA app shows security lines at Atlanta stretching to about an hour this morning. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Hour doesn't seem bad.
No, you'd take that.
Yeah.
I'd take that in Atlanta on a good day, especially since that was one of the spots. Atlanta, Houston,
was
Baltimore, all reporting wait times of 4 hours at their peak. So you'd take an hour gladly. So many people of both political parties have expressed frustration with this self-inflicted wound on American travelers. And, of course, the tens of thousands of workers. I mean, never mind they will ultimately get their back pay. But the union president is suggesting there ought to be something extra, given that many were living off their credit cards while giving the government essentially an interest-free loan for more than a month. Again.
Not only do they need to get back paid, but everybody needs like a $10,000 bonus because they have to put their lives back together. The mental strain of going to work and not getting paid for 3 out of the last 5 months is just unbelievable.
It's Johnny Jones, American Federation of Government Employees, speaking with ABC News on that. I could get behind that, especially if you wanted to look at it from an incentive standpoint of, all right, who went to work for every single scheduled shift? Who among you went to every shift, didn't call out sick? And that's tough for folks who might actually have been sick. Could you imagine?
There's tons of stuff going around
Right?
this
You
time of
actually
year.
got sick and you really couldn't go to work. And you're like, seriously, I'm sick. No, I'm not making a statement here. I'm not whatever. I'm not driving Uber today. I'm actually really sick. But either way, could you backfill for those who actually found a way to get there each and every day, or for the lot of them who didn't quit and were just going to work and trying to make things work for the traveling public? As far as what it looks like long term, we asked Karen Travers when specifically, Karen Travers of ABC News, she's ABC's White House correspondent, when specifically those TSA workers might see their pay, and if this solution is more than just a Band-Aid.
Yeah, we're told that they're going to get their back pay that most should expect it starting today via direct deposit. But, it's still unclear if they're going to get their next paycheck. They have missed 2 full paychecks during this 45-day shutdown at this point for DHS, 50,000 TSA officers. And so the president last Friday signed a memo ordering the Department of Homeland Security Secretary to redirect funds to give these officers back pay. There's still a lot of questions. How long is this funding going to last? What happens next? The president was asked about this on Air Force One last night and said, we're going to pay them for as long as we have to. But there's also a big important part of this, too, that I think is worth underlining. 50,000 TSA officers have missed their paychecks. They get their back pay, but there are tens of thousands of other DHS employees. FEMA, for example, Civilian Coast Guard, they're not getting paid right now during this shutdown, and they're not going to get paid through this memo. So the shutdown continues, and Congress is now on recess for 2 weeks. That's the schedule at this point.
Karen Travers live with us from Washington this morning. Yeah, obviously not a long-term solution. You mentioned members of Congress on their own spring break here, leaving this unresolved. To what degree is the White House signaling that the president may get involved in these negotiations?
They're not signaling that yet. We're going to hear from the White House press secretary today, Caroline Leavitt, at 1 p.m. for a briefing. It will be notable if there's, an increased pressure from the administration now for Congress to come back to resolve this. We'll see if the president does that himself on social media. But they're gone. And, what we're hearing from Republican Senate aides is that they're not coming back. They're not pulling them back to try to vote on what the House passed on Friday because it's dead on arrival in the Senate. Senate Democrats have said that there's no way they would vote for what the House passed, which was funding of all of DHS through May 22nd. So at this point, they're pretty much in a standoff.
That's ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers, who joined us earlier this morning. Wait times at Milwaukee Mitchell have been really good. Have no reports of prohibitively long lines. Looked like some of the lines this weekend were long, but it's spring break travel season and. So no situations, but for here or there, maybe of people in large part missing flights or any of the things that we've seen in our hardest hit spots across the country. In fact, the airport director told Wisconsin's Morning News, we spoke with him earlier this week, that if a situation like you've seen in Houston or Atlanta where it's 4 hours and people are missing flights, if they saw that developing at Milwaukee Mitchell, they would communicate that out. I think their social media accounts are pretty up to date, so that's largely where you might hear it first, and then hopefully they would communicate that out through us, and we would get the message out. Doesn't look like that's the situation here in Milwaukee. He told us at the time 2.5 hours would get you through comfortably right now. Did you say somebody checked in this morning saying 5 minutes? Was that Greg? Somebody told us this morning that they were at the airport. Oh, it was Grubich when he was in here before.
Yeah.
Mike came in and he's like, yeah, I just heard from somebody, have a friend traveling today. Went to the airport 2 hours ahead of time, got through TSA in 5 minutes.
Had his cup of coffee.
So that is certainly the window that should get you through comfortably. I didn't finish the story. Ella Vetrano reporting from New York's LaGuardia on Saturday.
Hello, final TSA update. We ended up getting through security all the way at 4:35 a.m. So from the time we got in line at the airport to the time we were through, it was about 2 hours.
And from the beginning of the story, she said that the official airport guy.
The airport guy, yeah.
Told them 4:45, right?
Yeah.
Was I hearing that
So
right?
they beat that.
Yeah, by 10 minutes.
Personally thank any of those officers who did go to work and who are going to work. Appreciate you keeping the traveling public, getting on those airplanes best as many of them could. And hopefully the end to this latest episode is in sight. 9:22 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your car can't express its gratitude when you get an oil change, but the people you're helping will sure appreciate it, because when you visit an Adam member new car dealer through May 16th, they'll donate $1 from every oil change to Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin. To date, Adam has donated more than $960,000, providing 2.8 million meals. To find a participating Adam dealer near you, visit adamm.com. And thank you.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
For those with a warm weather fashion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices, and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Happy Monday!
It's time to look at the week ahead. Sponsored by Excel Custom Decks.
What a Monday morning.
At 9:24 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Yeah, this is the part where Eric, when he's here, usually says, what are you going to see in your timeline, on the TV, reading the headlines, see in your social media feed, here on the radio?
Why don't you just tell me?
Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie you selected?
Yes, your week ahead. Today is Monday, March 30th, 2026. It is the Christian observance of Holy Week, and a first for the American Pope.
Oh my God, the Chicago guy!
Yeah, the Chicago guy. Pope Leo XIV will lead Holy Thursday or Maundy Thursday services at the Vatican on Thursday for area Catholics. Milwaukee Archbishop Jeffrey Grom presiding over Holy Thursday services, Stations of the Cross at Holy Hill on Good Friday, and liturgy at the Cathedral, Easter Vigil on Saturday, and then Archbishop Emeritus Jerome Lestenky will celebrate Easter Mass on Sunday at 11 a.m. Jewish holiday of Passover beginning Wednesday at sundown, continuing into Thursday. Today, Wisconsin State Representative Bob Donovan and Republican candidate for governor Tom Tiffany have a news conference. They want to end emissions testing for your vehicles in Wisconsin. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson set to give his State of the City address tonight.
I'm excited about talking about and informing the public in a greater sense about how these things will continue to help Milwaukee to change and evolve and lower costs for folks.
Mayor due to speak at Dr. Howard Fuller Collegiate Academy with his annual address at 5:30. Trial this week for the 23-year-old man charged with killing Milwaukee police officer Kendall Corder last summer and injuring his partner, Christopher McRae, in an ambush-style attack. Jury selection of the homicide trial for Tremaine Jones begins today. At the ballpark.
Whoa! That didn't take long at all!
The Brewers continue their opening season homestand. It is UPAF night at American Family Field. I'm proud to chair the UPAF annual campaign this year, co-chair along with Cecilia Gore, the Milwaukee Brewers Community Foundation. So this was Cecilia's big pull for us. Hey, we'll have a UPAF night at the ballpark. How about it? Activations around the yard. The president and CEO of United Performing Arts Fund will be signing people up for the Ride for the Arts and throwing out the first pitch.
I got my wife, I got my mother, I got my brothers, I got to go to church. Man, I ain't got time for all that.
And the busy man will have time for the Milwaukee Bucks Foundation six-man soiree, with the Bucks throwing their third annual fundraising event to support health initiatives that are pillars of the foundation. The entire Bucks roster expected to be on hand at Fiserv Forum to hang with fans. Tickets still available at bucks.com.
Dr. Rosen, and I'm here to get for the record. So it's Dr. Rosen. Hi.
It's National Doctors Day today. Salute to Dr. Rosen, and all the other great docs. Shout out to my medical team at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Tuesday, Q3 earnings due out for Nike.
If we learn anything from sports, is that no matter how far down we may be, we are never too far down to come back.
Well, they may have some of the best ads in the business, but hopefully the comeback is afoot. Mostly this, Michelle, is a note to myself.
Mm-hmm.
A huge Nike fan. I had a friend, I stood up in his wedding, and he got everybody who was standing up one share of stock that reminded him of them. And since I was a big Nike guy, he got me this one share.
Okay.
Well, that was a million years ago, so it split and split and split. I now have 8 shares of Nike stock, which have lost about $1,000 in value over the last several years. Let's see if my team out there in Beaverton, Oregon is figuring things out. Let's stay on the West Coast for Wednesday, 50th anniversary of the founding of this company.
You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try to sell it.
Los Altos, California. You know that voice? Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, founders of Apple Computers, first producing the Apple I and, of course, the Apple II. The U.S. Supreme Court Wednesday is set to hear oral arguments on birthright citizenship, a challenge to President Trump's executive order, which seeks to end automatic citizenship for children who are born in the U.S. if their parents are in the country illegally or temporarily. Also Wednesday.
Happening maybe.
Yeah, maybe Wednesday. It's as early as Wednesday.
That's no moon.
But it is the moon, Obi-Wan. The window opens to launch Artemis 2. NASA could go with astronauts on board for lunar orbit. Could launch as early as Wednesday morning. Would be the first time humans have left Earth orbit since the last lunar landing back in 1972. On Thursday, Wisconsin State Supreme Court debate, one night only. Judge Maria Lazar favored by conservatives. Judge Chris Taylor favored by liberals. They're squaring off in their only debate less than a week before the spring election. Debate rescheduled. It was supposed to be last week, but Judge Taylor ended up in the hospital with kidney stones, and so they put it off. It'll be tonight. On that Wednesday night, 7 o'clock on one more time. Thursday night, 7 o'clock, Channel 12. Maybe it's Kegel's, maybe it's the Packing House, Serb Hall, or the corner pub in your community. Big day for fish fry on Good Friday. Lakefront Brewery in Milwaukee says they typically go through 375 pounds of cod on a Lenten Friday night. Men's and women's NCAA Final Four games in basketball this weekend. The women will go on Friday, and then the championship on Sunday, with the men on Saturday and their final on Monday night. In hockey, the Badgers in the Frozen Four.
Sure,
Old-time hockey.
Like 80s shore.
Yeah.
Wisconsin plays North Dakota in the semifinals, chasing their first championship in men's hockey in 20 years. Badgers in North Dakota. Puck drops at 4 p.m. Thursday in Las Vegas. At the movies.
How can you even trust her?
You're being incredibly hypocritical.
That's some drama. It's very funny.
Zendaya and Robert Pattinson starred what they're calling it a romantic drama, but it's called The Drama. That's the name of the film. So apparently they're playing this game of tell us something that nobody knows about you. These two are about to get married, and she drops some really dark secret. Ooh, and it changes everything. Also coming out this week.
Benjamin Franklin.
Reverend Whitfield, partnering with me would guarantee the maximum benefit to your cause.
A match made in heaven.
Or just a deal made in a print shop.
Exploring the friendship between renowned preacher George Whitfield and Benjamin Franklin, looking into Whitfield's impact during the pivotal Great Awakening religious movement. And the Super Mario movie also hits theaters this week. That is your week ahead for Monday, March 30th, 2026.
You know, I mean, your home is about as personal as it gets, right?
We want to build a relationship with homeowners, not only educating them, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us.
Yeah, the interview goes both ways. Mm-hmm. Getting to know people while also serving them. It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
Besides that, it's just the right thing to do. See how Big Fish Contracting is renovating homes and redeeming an industry at bigfishcontracting.com.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
When you think about your financial future, it helps to have fee-only fiduciary guidance that puts your interests first. At Annex Wealth Management, you receive comprehensive planning from a team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, and investment specialists working together to support your financial life. Annex's advice is designed to stay aligned with your goals without commissions influencing recommendations. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Skylight Music Theater presents A Rockin' Midsummer Night's Dream. Shakespeare's classic story meets an original genre-spanning score in this modern rock and roll musical full of humor, heart, and theatrical mischief. Join me, Sandy Max, for a special Max-Experience on April 15th. We will begin having drinks in the Skylight Bar at 6:30 p.m., followed by the performance at 7:30. Purchase tickets for April 15th at skylightmusictheater.org to join me and use promo code SANDY15 for 15% off your ticket. See you there.
Want to watch all your favorite WTMJ shows? Check out the WTMJ YouTube channel. Live streams of all your favorite WTMJ shows, from Wisconsin's morning news to what's on tap. See breaking news as it happens. Get involved with the action in the chat on Brewers Extra Innings and Bucks Talk, or see all the cool tools on the Fix-It Show. Missed your favorite show? We've got past live streams and interview highlights too. Subscribe to 620 WTMJ.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the U.S. will retake control of the Strait of Hormuz and would use either a U.S. or multinational escort to do so. Meanwhile, President Trump has threatened more attacks on Iran's civilian infrastructure if there's no ceasefire agreement and if the strait does not reopen. But at the same time, he said talks with Iran have been productive. He told reporters last night on Air Force One.
We have a group, it's really a new regime. It's a new group of people that we've never dealt with before. that are acting very reasonable. It is truly regime change.
A union leader at Philadelphia Airport says some TSA officers are seeing paychecks after President Trump's order to pay those TSA officers as the government shutdown continues. And government information shared with ABC News says 45 people have died in federal immigration custody during the second Trump administration. This is ABC News.
Taking a look at the markets, your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update, news about your money, and we're an hour off the opening bell. The Dow Jones Industrial Average still climbing. It's up nearly 200 points at 45,357. S&P 500 is at 6383. That's up about 15. And the NASDAQ up 17 points to 20,964. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. As far as the traffic, things loosening up around the stadium. In fact, you can eastbound I-94, you can get all the way past American Family Field before you hit the slowdowns. And those continue to about 35th Street and then open back up as you're making your way toward downtown. That being on eastbound I-94. It doesn't look like there are any delays westbound on that stretch, and the rest of the system is looking good.
Mostly sunny today, a high of 75. Inland, 65 if you're at the lakefront. Tonight, a chance of rain and storms, mostly cloudy, a low of 44. Tuesday, warm with a chance of storms, a high of 65. Wednesday, mostly cloudy and cool, a chance of an afternoon rain-snow mix, a high of just 40. Thursday, rain likely, it'll be windy, a high of 50. And Friday, a slight chance of rain, mostly cloudy skies, and a high of 47.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does. Because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
At Redo Cabinets, we know the kitchen is the heart of the home. It's the place that design and function matter most. Mark Olson here. Redo Cabinets wants to transform your kitchen into your vision without the mess, the stress, or the cost of a full kitchen remodel with cabinet refacing. During our spring sales event, learn all about refacing. Premium cabinet products and plenty of options for color, hardware, style, and accessories. And now get a free premium countertop with every refacing project, or payments that start as low as $195 a month. Call today and book a free, no-obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us at redocabinets.com. That's redocabinets.com. Serving homeowners for over 70 years in Illinois and Wisconsin. Don't replace, reface with Redo Cabinets.
9:39 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Look at that story about the Barbie dream house that wasn't.
The Barbie dream house that wasn't. Fans of Barbie say their dreams turned into a nightmare. This happened at an event in Florida.
Barbie fans say they got ripped off after paying $72 for day passes and $450 for VIP tickets for what was billed as a glittery dream fest in Fort Lauderdale.
That skating rink thing, it's laughable. The interactive dream house is not.
Video footage shows a nearly empty convention floor.
I heard somebody say that they felt fire-fested.
They did get to hear from the WNBA's Angel Reese and tennis great Serena Williams, who won the event's Icon Award.
I don't think an icon has to be someone that's been super successful. It could be your next door neighbor. It could be your mom.
Organizers are promising full refunds. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Yeah, the Barbie dream house wasn't. So this was like a cardboard facade of a dream house with some AstroTurf laid out in front. So it was a photo op only, but it looked like a typical house. Nothing dreamy about it.
No, some of the video, it really looked like we made it in my garage.
Well, it looked like a garage because it was at a convention center that had concrete floors, and it's a huge room.
Yeah, imagine if we had it in the Baird Center here downtown. And it's one of the giant event spaces, but they didn't really even, the easiest thing to do there is that's pink carpeting all the way through, right? And it wasn't that. They just sort of left the convention floor space as is, had little things here and there. It looked terrible. If you're paying $80 a head for Barbie Dream House, it's going to be more than a facade.
And they got swag bags, but they said they only had 2 items in them. A plastic hairbrush and hand sanitizer.
Ooh, boy, what kid doesn't want that? I found it. Remember I told you this story sounded familiar to me. It was a couple of years ago, similar kind of thing. It was a Willy Wonka experience in Scotland. And I found what we were reporting on at the time. Let me see if I can play some of this.
The advertisement spoke of cascading chocolate fountains and giant mushrooms filled with sweets. But instead, they got this.
So you get nothing.
A nearly empty warehouse.
We got in, there was maybe 20 chairs, something like that. A few tables, a half-inflated bouncy castle.
Right.
Half-inflated
bouncy castle. And I remember they had this actor, the guy was hired to play Willy Wonka and go around and talk to the kids, and he was bent out of shape.
Sorry, actually, Willie McDuff, because they didn't want to get sued. In an immersive chocolate factory experience that's going to be good fun for all the family.
He said they didn't give him a script. What they gave him was this.
I got a phone call. They said, we'll send you over the script. And what I received was like a 15-page monologue of AI gibberish.
It's like, didn't even make sense. It wasn't really Willy Wonka. I'm supposed to be Willy Wonka. But I didn't know how to do that based on what they sent me. It said kids are crying.
People running the event were running around. People were crying. There was a child dressed as an Oompa Loompa crying, which you don't know heartbreak until you've seen that image.
I don't know how to. I'm sure that's not how they advertised it, that event or the Barbie thing. It probably looked amazing online.
Yeah, I saw one flyer for the Barbie Dream House, and it was a picture of, the multi-level with the slide coming down.
Amazing.
And that's not at all what was at the convention center.
9:43 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Try some more. The strawberries taste like strawberries. The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Snozberries? Who ever heard of a snozberry?
At Blaine's, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the trusted farm essentials you need for spring at unbeatable farm and fleet prices? Like $40 off a 15-piece Milwaukee combo wrench kit. Save $50 on a basement watchdog sump pump. And a 16-inch power tool storage rack is on sale, just $24.99. In store or online, we've got the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Hi, it's David Nason from The Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Every Saturday morning, we talk about keeping your home in top shape. One issue I hear all the time, wet basements and foundation problems.
And that's where Accurate Basement Repair comes in. I'm Chris Mancuso, and for over 20 years, we've been The Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing.
Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Visit AccurateBasementRepair.com.
Accurate Basement Repair.
We're not just good, we're accurate. Catch Accurate Basement Repair on The Fix-It Show and WTMJ.com.
It's National Doctors Day today. Shout out to my medical team at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Vince Vetrano here. Last 3 times I visited with my docs at OAW because I was hurt. We worked out solutions to my injuries without surgery. So my sports are golf, tennis, pickleball, a lot of starting and stopping in those sports, cranking on the back, the neck, the knees, and from time to time you get hurt. Okay. What I want most, and I know a lot of folks are like this, I want to get back out there as soon as possible playing my sports. Same probably for the young athletes in your house. OAW understands you don't want to come in and have the doctor working to sign you up for surgery right away. And like I said, the surgeons at OAW spend most of their time working on non-surgical solutions to your pain and to your injuries. Honest doctors and nurses and therapists, they're committed to your health. Get started online now at orthowisconsin.com.
Point taken with Scafidi and Bride.
When there is any kind of government shutdown, the first people who lose their paychecks should be the voting members of Congress.
Yeah, something has to happen because this separation policy that members of Congress have has to stop.
Weekdays from 10 to noon on WTMJ.
What is your favorite form of potatoes?
French fries.
Easy.
Crinkle. But I don't eat potatoes that much anymore, so.
Okay.
And I don't miss it. We'll keep some more.
Mine's vodka. Just joking.
Couple of stories to put on your political radar this Monday morning.
Happening today on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Mentioned in the news, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson set to give a State of the City address. That's going to be tonight. More on that in a moment. First, this Republican candidate for governor, Congressman Tom Tiffany, is around as Congress is on a break, and he, of course, is running for governor. Hosting a business roundtable in my adopted hometown of Greendale. The more interesting part really is what's going to happen after. He's going to be joined by the area's state assemblyman, Bob Donovan, former city of Milwaukee alderman, and they're going to be talking about ending Wisconsin's vehicle emissions testing program. That's the thing where drivers in a handful of counties in our state, you got to take your car in every 2 years for the emissions testing in order to get your registration renewed. It's a pain. Nobody likes to do it. Feels like more of a pain now.
Is that their motivation? Is that the reason why?
I think probably just it's one of those things that could be popular. I am interested. That's a great question to see what they say about the why behind it. It's probably not going to be popular with environmentalists, but maybe popular with many drivers. They may suggest that it's simply not necessary or hasn't achieved the financial or the environmental goals that were part of its inception in the mid-1980s. So that is ahead today. To the mayor, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson's annual State of the City address. That's going to be tonight. Major theme is going to be expanding affordable housing.
I'm excited about talking about and informing the public in a greater sense about how these things will continue to help Milwaukee to change and evolve and lower costs for folks. So those are the things that are really, really exciting to me. We've been doing some really, really great work myself in collaboration with the City Council, and I'm looking forward to sharing those things.
That's not going to be the only thing, but you're going to hear a lot about those initiatives. And don't mistake the mayor's affordable housing push for low-income housing. Low-income housing is a component, of course, of affordable housing, but it's not the only thing. What the mayor is talking about is we need to make it easier for folks to buy homes or to buy condos and for folks to rent here. And so he's going to talk about a broad spectrum of ideas and things, tout some things that he thinks have worked so far and what else is ahead. So that'll be a major theme of his presentation. This is going to be at Dr. Howard Fuller Collegiate Academy, and the start time is 5:30 this evening. Running out of time here, but I do want to make sure we address the weekend chaos at the mall.
A normal day at Bayshore Mall turned into madness as hundreds of teens showed up and several fights broke out.
It's TMJ4's Kaylee Starro reporting on Sunday more than a dozen arrests at Bayshore. Is Bayshore calling itself a mall again? It was always the mall, and then it wasn't. Then it was Bayshore Town Center. Then it's just Bayshore. I don't know. It's not so much the mall proper. It's one of the things that's difficult about this for Bayshore is a lot of the shops are outside. So you have all this public space and you're walking from shop to shop. But what they saw on Sunday afternoon, large crowds appeared to be mostly teens. They're pounding on windows, getting in fights, and it sounds like that was exactly the plan.
Some concerned parents I spoke to off camera tell me this was part of a mall takeover. You can see the post that went viral on Instagram. Well, Glendale police tell me they were aware of that post and had increased security and patrols ahead of Sunday.
Even with that increased presence, TMJ4 cameras captured fights like this one that spilled out onto a busy Port Washington road. For several hours Sunday afternoon, Glendale police, the Milwaukee County Sheriff, and mall security worked to clear hundreds of young people from the area.
So the positive thing is they kind of knew about it. Kaylee, in her report at TMJ4, had a picture of the graphic that was going out, the meme, if you will, on social media that had it was very well done, had a start time and everything. Here's where we're meeting at the mall to cause trouble.
And it was called Mall Takeover, right?
Yes, right. Big title there, Mall Takeover. So they fully intended for that to happen. However, they sort of tipped their hand, and police, to whatever degree they could, and authorities knew that it was coming. So not sure if anything escalated at Mayfair. Mayfair was also mentioned. TMJ was reporting on folks saying that was out there. But WTMJ's Sandy Max was out and about on Saturday. She said she was at Mayfair and noted, I'll read to you what she wrote. I observed security professionally actively wristbanding youth at Mayfair. They seem to be making prevention efforts. So the word was out and they knew. The parental escort policy has been in place at Mayfair since I can remember. Well, not since I can remember, but since they began having issues a long time ago. Same thing here at Bayshore, where you have to be escorted if you're under 18 by an adult on the weekends, typically after 3 p.m., right? Does that sound about right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I think we have that at Southridge. Michelle's on the south side with me as well. I think there's a parental thing at Southridge as well.
Probably. And I think the difference, though, I mean, just the layouts. You've got Mayfair, which is inside. You can have your security people patrolling indoors, but it's a lot harder when everyone's outside.
I think it's a great point and an additional challenge for Bayshore, right? It's one thing if you have doors to your facility and you can stop people and have security at those checkpoints. How do you do that, police that actively over a large property where people are walking from shop to shop? But not a good situation there. The thing is, the crackdowns are uncomfortable. Video of forceful arrests never looks good. Doesn't look good on law enforcement. It doesn't look good on the folks who are doing these things, but we know it works. You got to make sure that you don't let that to fester and have these places become spots where people know they can go and deliberately cause trouble. Literally same conversation we were having about the entertainment districts downtown just last week. It is 9:52 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Yes, Toradol is considered a strong pain reliever. It's one of the most potent non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs available. And absolutely, hyaluronic acid is used to treat shoulder, hip, elbow, and knee pain. It's a lubricating gel-like substance that reduces stiffness and improves mobility. It acts as a lubricant and shock absorber, reducing friction in the joint. And when we pinpoint the root of your pain, and we combine these powerful 100% FDA-approved pain relief medicines, if thousands of patient confirmations tell us anything, you're going to experience pain relief. And because of this, your quality of life increases, and you'll start living better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. There's much more to life that you've been missing because of your pain. This isn't even about taking a chance. It's about taking your first step to living pain-free. Go to rejuvenex.com to schedule your appointment so we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Call today and there's a good chance we could be seeing you tomorrow.
Vince Vitrano here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Just look at the forecast. Our Wisconsin homes ask a lot of our windows and doors. Windows open yesterday for sure. Well, you got volatile weather. We'll be back in, look, I got a 40-degree temperature high on Wednesday. So they got to be ready for just about anything year-round. The right windows and doors make a meaningful difference in your home's comfort, efficiency, and overall style. When you're working with Pella, you get expert recommendations on what's best for your home, your needs, the way you want to live. And the Pella team guides you through every step of the way. Now, if you've been putting off replacing your windows and doors, now's a great time because Pella of Wisconsin is offering 0% interest on your financing all the way until 2032. 0% interest until 2032. Certain restrictions do apply. The offer ends March 31st, 2026. You can set your free in-home consultation anytime at PellaWI.com.
When you think about your financial future, it helps to have fee-only fiduciary guidance that puts your interests first. At Annex Wealth Management, you receive comprehensive planning from a team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, and investment specialists working together to support your financial life. Annex's advice is designed to stay aligned with your goals without commissions influencing recommendations. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at AnnexWealth.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scavidi.
And Kristen Bry of Point Taken.
What's more important than having a special needs child turning 18 who needs guardianship?
Or helping aging parents plan for long-term care.
Thankfully, the attorneys at Walney Legal Group can help with both.
No intimidating lawyers, Walney Legal provides a customized, friendly experience to help make these processes as straightforward and streamlined as possible.
So whether you're planning for aging parents
or establishing a strong legal foundation for a special needs child, visit WALNYlegal.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
9:55 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Michelle in for Eric today, and then we'll be in for Eric as well. He's on spring break and driving to his destination. Still hoping that I'm holding out hope, Michelle, that Eric reports from a Buc-ee's. Big disappointment a year ago around this time that Eric drove by a Buc-ee's just when we were talking about the Oak Creek location possibly getting done, and that is going to be built. And I think they're looking at 2027 for an opening for the Buc-ee's there off of I-94 in Oak Creek. But I hadn't been to one ever yet.
Same.
And Eric drove right on by his own daughter.
Well, that's
in the
silly.
back seat. Say, Dad, Buc-ee's, Dad, Buc-ee's. He's like, we're making good time.
That's when daughter needs to say, I need to use the bathroom.
There you go.
Urgently.
That'll work. So I'm hoping for a report from Eric having a Buc-ee's experience from the road at some point this week. Hope to see you at the ballpark tonight. 6:40 first pitch for your Milwaukee Brewers. The homestand continues to open the season. Went pretty well overall for the crew. Sweeping the White Sox, although it took some work to get through that one on Sunday afternoon, but the Brewers come from behind and win. Tonight is UPAF night at the ballpark. Shared with you, I'm co-chairing the annual United Performing Arts Fund community campaign. And we've got Cecilia Gore from the Milwaukee Brewers Community Foundation is my co-chair. So she's set us up for a night to celebrate the arts along with the Brewers. So if you're out there, look for our booth, come by, say hello, sign up for the UPAF Ride for the Arts presented by Miller Lite. We could do that. And the CEO, Anne-Marie, is going to throw out the first pitch tonight. She says she's been working on it.
You don't get to, co-pitch?
Don't need to do that at all, right? Good luck, Anne-Marie. You're going to be great.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone! Christian Yelich, a 3-run blast. And the Brewers have come all the way back in the 8th inning. It is 9-7 Crew.
He's arguing with the robots. You can't defeat the robots.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores,